day. Keep on chasing the sunshine and go out and play. You know, don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Just keep on chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Take note that the webinar will be recorded. By joining the webinar, you are consenting to be recorded as well. Information gathered is strictly in line with Pinas Forward's goal of creating a better online and on-ground environment for all Filipinos. Let us begin with a prayer to be followed by the national anthem.
Diyos naming makapangyarihan sa lahat, narito po kami upang magpasalamat na napagtipon-tipon mo kami upang mapaglingkuran ang aming pamilya, komunidad at bansa. Sa mga panahong kami ay naliligaw at nababagabag, gabayan mo kaming magbalik loob sa aming mga paninindigan nang matumbasan namin ang biyayang ipinagkaloob sa aming komunidad. Bigyan mo kami ng atwa. Nang buong puso naming ialay ang lahat-lahat para sa kinabukasan ng aming inang bayan. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, helas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang binirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manluluping, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ko bagaw, ay hinagang tulakaw.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat, to all of our 112 friends here on Zoom, of course, our friends on Facebook and on YouTube. Hello! No? And pagbati rin sa ating mga kasama from DWAL 95.9 FM, Radyo Totoo, Lakas ng Katotohanan. My name is Bruno and I will be your host for this afternoon. So ngayon, we are at 1:33 p.m. on the dot. Nakapag-lunch na ba kayo? Mainit na hapon. As in, mainit. Tamang-tama, Mark. Totoo yan. So sana nakapagpalamig kayo ng malamig na baso ng mga tubig nyo or Coke. No? At message nyo naman kung nakapag-lunch na kayo dahil mahaba-haba ang ating mga tatalakayin ngayong hapon. No? At ano yung mga nilunch ninyo? No? Ano ang ating mga nilunch? Good afternoon, Shervy, Aliyah, VJ, and Jan. Yes. Hi, good afternoon. Norman says nag-itlog siya, no? At pritong bangus kay Miss Lopez, no? Adobong manok kay Karen. Excited pa siya with chicken nuggets. Wow. No? At mabuti at nagpapabusog kayo. Sana lahat na tayo ay naglalaman siya na. Tapos yung isip at puso nyo, kami naman yung bahala dyan. Pero bago tayo magsimerienda ng kaalaman at punuin ang ating isip at puso, no, kilalanin muna natin ang Pinas Forward. To know who we are and what we do, please watch this video.
May mga nakasama na po ako sa Pinas Forward na ang ganda po ng pangarap nila. Hindi lang po yung pangarap para sa sarili nila, kundi para po yung sa bansa nila.
We have three major thrusts in Pinas Forward: transformational leadership, values formation, and community engagement. Through these efforts, gusto natin maihanda ang mga Pilipinong leader, lalo na yung mga kabataan, na maging tama ang tono ng kanilang puso. Naniniwala tayo na kaya natin sa pamamagitan ng Pilipino sa bawat komunidad sa mga darating na panahon.
Na-challenge po ako, yung capabilities ko, yung capacities ko bilang isang tao, bilang isang leader. Doon ko po nakilala yung sarili ko na may mga bagay po pala akong hindi nagagawa at before, kaya ko na po silang gawin ngayon.
It is very, very different from all the leadership trainings that I've had. This camp lets us be who we any limitations.
Yung Pinas Forward, this would enlighten the youth na kailangan ko palang makibahagi dun sa pagbabago. Hindi lang ako panay reklamo, panay lang ako dapat maging taga-subaybay. Kumbaga, makialam sa pagkilos, makialam sa nation building.
Sa Pinas Forward, talagang inihubog yung pagiging pinuno mo, hindi lang sa pag-iisip, kundi pati yung puso. Sarap po palang magmahal ng marami kesa sa isa, and masarap pong tumulang ng walang hinihintay na kapalit at bukal ito sa puso natin.
Napaka-importante matutunan ng kabataan ng good leadership kasi kailangan hindi lang basta leader, mabuting leader ang kailangan sa atin.
Oo, may mga pagkakaiba-iba kami, pero doon sa pagkakaiba-iba namin na yun, nagkaisa kami at natulungan kami bilang isang team na maging bahagi ng pagbabago na gustong ipahatid ng Pinas Forward.
You have all these leaders with great reach na kaya nilang gumawa in an instant ng mga events na malaking impact. Ako, favorite part ko, yung nakamit ako ng fellow SK. Parang nung nakapag-usap kami, tapos biglang out of the blue, uy, gusto mo bang gumawa tayo ng blood donation drive for National Children's Hospital? These are the conversations that matter. Small conversations, bigger impacts.
I was able to learn that leadership, it's about bringing everyone together. We're all working for one goal. This is a family and this is a great place to grow as a person.
Hindi lamang sila basta simpleng mga kabataan, kundi isang kabataan na kasangga ng ating bansa. Bumubuo tayo ng isang panibagong kasaysayan.
Personally po, napakaganda ng aim ng Pinuno Camp. Kasi napakaganda po na coming from different schools, nag-merge to build a single aim, and that's to reach out to the community and make a difference. Bakit ako sumama sa Pinas Forward? Kasi nakita ko yung advocacy ko na kaya ko palang mamuno kahit sa murang edad na walang hinihintay na kapalit. Magmula po nung nagkaroon ng Pinas Forward, to hindi na po ako nawala.
Para sa akin, ang Pinas Forward ay isang pamilyang walang iwanan. Kasi ang Pinas Forward, makikita mo siya na isang group na nagtutulungan para sa bansa at para sa bayan.
Let's move!
Yan, Pinas Forward, let's move! That was Pinas Forward in less than 5 minutes. Makibahagi sa pagkilos, makibahagi sa nation building. Hubugin natin ang ating isip at puso para maging mabuting leader, bumuo ng kasaysayan, and to create positive impact. And of course, para magkaroon tayo ng mas positive and meaningful na impact para sa ating lahat ngayong hapon, we have a couple of house rules for us to follow. And it's as easy as ABC, literally ABC. We start with A, attend. No? So hindi lang tayo yung nandito virtually, but also mentally and spiritually, because we have so many interesting topics today. We hope you don't miss out. No? And be present, engage with us. You know, this is a safe space for you to share your thoughts, so feel free to use our chat box. No? Always feel free to ask questions. There will be Q&A portions for you. Of course, there's also the Q&A function on our Zoom, no, where your questions can be answered. And last but not least, speaking of answered questions, co-learn. No? That's letter C for us. Let's all be good co-learners because, you know, we're not just here to learn from us, no, at Pinas Forward, but of course, tayong mga Pinas Forwarders all here on Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, at syempre sa Radyo Totoo, no? We're also here to learn from each other. So let's respect each other's opinions and enjoy learning from each other. And speaking of learning, we'd like to know where you're learning from, no? Where are you watching from and who are you watching with? Ano yung view mo ngayon? Share nyo naman sa atin by participating in our photo contest. And here, with our photo contest, you have a chance to win 100 pesos via GCash. Woo! What do you have to do? It's so easy. No, first, just post a photo on Facebook with your setup while attending GenLit. No, and make sure to include your webinar screen. No, next, in your caption, share what you've learned from your GenLit sessions this afternoon. So, sa GenLit, natutunan ko ang blank. No? And make sure to use our hashtags, hashtag Pinas Forward GenLit, hashtag GenLit Kabataang Bayani, no? And of course, like our page on Facebook, Pinas Forward PH, and remember to tag it, no, sa inyong post. Make sure also that the post is public, no, para ating makita yung inyong post. And you have until 11:59 p.m. Pa naman, no, close to midnight, so you have time to edit, curate, or you know, pick whatever photo you want to choose and improve your answers, no, yung natutunan nyo from our GenLit session today, no. And reminder din na dapat follower ng Pinas Forward page para ma-consider ang ating entry. Only one entry is allowed per person, but you may include multiple photos in your post. So as many, no, photos as you can. Kung gusto nyo, no, gusto nyo gawing photo dump yan, feel free, no. But take a picture or a screenshot muna of the mechanics as posted here, no. Mamaya na kayo mag-post, makinig muna tayo kasi i-share nyo ang mga natutunan nyo sa inyong caption. What are some examples here? No, pwedeng by yourself, whether it's a selfie, whether it's a groupie, with your pet, with your family, with your loved ones, kung sino pa mang kasama nyo, take advantage of the nice lighting we have here. Sabi nga kanina ni Angelo, mainit na mainit ngayon, mataas ang araw at maganda ang lighting natin, no? But before we take care of our lighting, and of course, before we take care of your enlightenment, we just like to remind you that the views and opinions expressed in this webinar do not necessarily reflect those of our sponsors and partners. Please also take note that the webinar will be recorded. By joining the webinar, you are consenting to be recorded as well. Information gathered is strictly in line with Pinas Forward's goal of creating a better online and on-ground environment for all Filipinos. Speaking of all Filipinos, let's focus on the Filipinos we have with us today, no, here on Zoom, on YouTube, on Facebook, at syempre from 95.9 Radyo Totoo, Lakas ng Katotohanan. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin ang lakas ng kabataan with our first speaker for this afternoon. Let me introduce you all to her. She graduated from UPLB last 2019, right before this pandemic happened. She has experience being a television episode host, an episode producer, a songwriter, and even a radio drama actress. Wow! Multi-talented ang ating speaker, no? And she also has multiple interests. She loves playing sports, watching series, shopping online, but her current favorite pastime is playing mahjong. Wow, paturo naman po dyan. Today, she is our speaker, but every other day, she is just like you. Let's welcome to teach us Jen ka magaling, Miss Shaira Hernandez.
Hey everybody, good afternoon to all our viewers here on Facebook, YouTube, and also on 95.9. Sige, maturuan kita magmajong another time. So ayan, hello po sa ating mga viewers right now. Isang malaking good afternoon naman dyan, kagaya ng sinasabi ko. At ikaw rin, Alisa, Tinay, ayan, sa lahat na nagchat-chat dyan. Nazim, Shervy, ma-shoutout ko yung nice nating mga viewers today. Good afternoon to you too, Carlo. Again, my name is Shai and I will be your speaker for #JenKaMagaling. Ayan. So, consider me a friend, consider me a classmate. Kasi gusto ko today. Yan. Gusto ko nagchat-chat kayo. Patuloy lang ang pag-chat nyo ngayon sa chat box. Ngayon, ang topic natin ay ang youth. Kumbaga tayo, di ba? Sino ba tayo? Ano ba ang kaya natin gawin? Dahil ang topic natin ay youth, magandang alamin muna, sino ba kasama ko today? No, can everybody please introduce themselves in the chat box by saying what generation you are part of? Yan, flex nyo naman. Sino ba mga kasama ko today? Mention your generation and something that you like to do. So, ito po ang ating guide. Are you a baby boomer? Are you a Gen X? Are you a millennial? Or are you a Gen Z? Ayan. Asan ba? Patingin, mag-message kayo. Kayo ba? Gen Z, sabi ni Joey, don't forget to say something that you like to do. Ano ba ang hilig ng mga Gen Zs ngayon? Gen Z, sabi ni Maria, ako ay, by the way, millennial, and I like to play sports. So, like lang, hindi ako magaling. Ayan, Gen Z daw, at mahilig sa BTS, sabi ni Julia. Gen Z at mahilig sa fried chicken. Gen Z mahilig sa TikTok. Gen Z Wattpad. Gen Z mahilig sa Pogi, sabi ni Alisa. Yan. Millennials love to share. Oh, sad pa kayo guys. Meron tayo ditong artistic. Gen Z at mahilig sa badminton, sa mobile games, K-drama, cute boys. Ayan, may pauwi tayo dito. Okay, so very timely kasi ang mga kasama ko pala ngayon ay puro Generation Z. Now, gusto ko lang ma-mention rin na pag sinabi kasing youth, ito ay ang ages 15 to 24. And did you know that as of January 2020, we make up 19.8 million of the Philippines population. At ngayong 2020, syempre, mas naparami pa tayo. We really have strength in numbers. Now, our main question for today is, does the youth today have what it takes to be heroes? Ano sa tingin ninyo? Nai-imagine nyo ba ang henerasyon natin na henerasyon ng mga bayani? Tayo ba ay may kakayahan maging heroes? At ang dami po nag-yes dito. Capital pa, sabi ni John with an exclamation point. Yes, yes, yes. At syempre, para lang hindi lang blindly tayo mag-guess, no, pag-usapan pa natin more. Sabi nga ni Shizian, we have potential. Okay. Now, syempre, maglaro muna tayo, guys, no? Let's have a game. 4 items, 1 generation. I will be mentioning 4 items and you have to message in the group chat or para sa mga ating listeners dyan, kahit i-mention, sumagot na lang kayo sa mind nyo, di ba? What generation am I talking about? G na ba tayo? Isang G naman dyan kung kayo ay ready na maglaro. Ready maglaro ng hindi feelings, ng totoong game. Ayan, question number 1. Our items are Taehyung from BTS, the accessible information along with the rise of fake news, TikTok, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Anong henerasyon ito? Tama po kayo, guys. Here on Zoom, Dan, Sodia, Carlo, yes, this is Generation Z. Next, question number 2. Analog TV, makalumang comics, civil rights movements, and pro-women movements. Anong henerasyon ito? Anong pinag-uusapan natin? Ito ay we have a mix of answers. Guys, ano ba? Ano bang henerasyon yung may comics, yung talagang may analog TV? Ang correct answer po ay baby boomers. Yan. Good job naman kay Alexa. Pero tama na. Okay na, guys. Question number 3. Ayan, ano to? This is the dial-up internet connection, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Voltes 5, handy mobile phones na sobrang nakakamiss yung mga Nokia na yan. Di ba na kahit itapon natin, okay lang. Anong henerasyon nito? And you are right, everybody here on Zoom. Yes, it is millennials. Yan, sorry sa mga nagsabing Gen X. Ito po ay millennials. Item number 4. Yan. Question number 4 at ang items natin ay Betamax, VHS, Friendster, yan, introduction of the personal computer. Ito ay ang henerasyon Generation X, guys. Yes, matalino ang ating mga viewers ngayon. Kung ano daw po yung natilang hindi pa nababanggit, ito ang Generation X. Ayan. Thank you so much for participating. Meron ba ditong naka 4 out of 4? Magaling maghula. Meron ba dito naka 4 out of 4? Perfect ko lahat, sabi ni Alexandra. Yes, nanalo ka po ng bragging rights this afternoon. Bragging rights muna. Mamaya na yung mga papremyo. Ayan, so nakita natin sa game, no, how the generations are in some ways different. Kita niyo yan sa mga photo album sa bahay o kaya pa nagkukwentuhan yung mga lola at lola natin, di ba? Nag-iibang mga henerasyon sa pananamit, libangan, pati na din ugali, di ba? It's not a surprise how people notice the differences and how people tend to give labels to the generations, di ba? Okay, sa usapang ganyan, here are the most common labels people have for the youth, di ba? Kung gusto natin malaman kung meron bang tayong kakayahan maging heroes, kailangan kilalanin muna natin sino ba tayo, di ba? Kilalanin muna natin ang sarili natin. At ito po ang mga label sa mga kabataan ngayon. Una, tayo daw ay woke. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng woke? And message nyo naman sa chat box. What does it mean to be woke? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Sabi ni Christy Gising, with a question mark, pwede. Ano pa? May hula pa tayo. Ano ba yung ibig? Aware, sabi ni Maria with a capital. Aware talaga. Gising, mulat po, aware sa truth, dilat. Tama, guys. We are seen as woke because of our loud display of activism. Diba? We like to engage in attention-calling events. Tapos ngayon na bawal lumabas, sabi nga ni Kim Chu, ginagamit naman natin ang social media to express our opinions. Minsan dumadating sa punto na nagkakaroon ng malaking or mahabang debate sa Facebook. Kayo ba ay naging parte na sa isang debate on Facebook, Twitter? Yan, sino ba dito ang palaban? Next, tayo daw ay entitled. No? They see us as entitled because of the privileges that we demand and fight for. We think that some things should be freely given. Diba? Like for example, free education, free ganito, free ganyan. Whereas the older generations kasi, they had to go through a lot before they got something. So entitled, yun yung isang label sa atin. Ano pa ba? Snowflakes. Diba? Ano ba ang snowflakes? Sino bang nakakaalam dito kung ano ibig sabihin ng snowflake? Yan, message nyo naman sa chat box. What does it mean to be called a snowflake? At sabi ni John, iyakin. Yan, iyakin pa kayo. Sensitive, sabi ni Shane. Masyadong malamdamin, Clarice. Tama kayo, guys? Actually, the term snowflake is mostly used as an insult to people who are too sensitive. So yun nga, masyado daw tayong offended agad. Masyado daw tayong mabilis ma-trigger. We are also known for the cancel culture. Diba? Cancel culture is a mass withdrawal of support for a person or an establishment. Sino ba dito ang nang-cancel na? No, meron ba ditong nagka-cancel culture or meron ba ditong na-cancel? Yan, di ba? Balikan natin yung mga ganyan. We are also seen as disrespectful, no? Walang galang, yun yung isa pang label sa atin. Kasi di ba, respecting elders is really ingrained in our culture. So, para sa ibang tao, where do we draw the line daw between fighting for something and being respectful? Now, agree ba kayo, guys? Sige, matanong ko nga kayo. Do you think we have become a generation that is disrespectful? Yes or no? Yan, tingnan natin. Ano bang tingin? Mag-reflect. No daw. Merong mga nag-yes dito sa Zoom. Somehow, ayan, sort of. Iba-iba. Magandang nag-reflect tayo, no? Sa kung ano na ba nga ba ang, paano na nga ba natin kinikilala ang henerasyon natin today. Now, sabi nga natin kanina, people really tend to give labels. And these labels are also known as stereotypes. Diba? Maybe some of you have heard of this before sa inyong mga classes, diba? Pero sa mabilisang explanation, stereotyping someone means having assumptions about a person just because they are part of a certain group. So, gawin ko ng example yung sarili ko. Ako, parte ako ng grupo ng kababaihan. So, minsan kahit hindi pa ako kilala ng ibang tao, ina-assume na nila na ako yung emotional one sa relationship. Na ako yung magaling sa gawaing bahay. Kaway-kaway naman dyan sa mga felong kababaihan na part na babae pero hindi magaling magluto. Ayan, egg lang po ang makakaya ng babaeng to. So, yun yan, diba? Yung ayan, meron din sabi ni Jizian. Yan, okay lang yan guys, matututunan. Sa ngayon, boiled eggs, scrambled eggs, sunny side muna ang aking menu. Ayan, so hindi lang yan sa mga sa mga gender, meron ding mga stereotypes. And for example, basketball player, 'di ba? Pag sinabi mong basketball player, minsan ina-assume nila, siguro pogi to, matangkad, no? Pero hindi naman lahat ng basketball player ay kayo na ang humusga. Huwag na po manggaling sa akin. Ayan, so from here on out, I'd like us to slow down and answer this question honestly. Diba? Sa ating screen ngayon, nakikita nyo, police, LGBTQIA+, people with tattoos. These are different communities that we have today. How does society view these groups? Meron ba kayong alam na stereotype ng mga tao sa kanila? Yan, meron, 'di ba? Sabi nga ni Frederick, meron stereotype sa kanila. Message niyo yan sa chat, sa group chat natin ngayon. Pili kayo ng isa. Let's say police, for example. Ano ang napansin yung laging dinilabel sa kanila? Sabi ni Alex, kapag may tattoo, people assume addict na agad. Totoo, may mga ganyan. Kapag police, naningingikil. Ang deep naman ang Filipino, di ko alam yan. LGBT, nadi-discriminate sila. Pag police daw, iniisip corrupt na agad. Yan yung mga iba't ibang mga labels na meron ang society para sa mga communities na meron tayo, diba? But the thing is, we have to realize na whatever these people say about these groups, imposibleng totoo yan for each and every individual in that group, di ba? Sabi nila kapag LGBTQIA+, parang sinners, but I know a lot of people from this community are actually very religious, di ba? Hindi talaga ito totoo sa lahat ng tao sa grupo. Also, ito pa ang masama sa stereotypes. It does not stop with labels lang. If you let these stereotypes get to you, it will affect even your behavior and actions towards these groups. Gaya ng mga kumpanyang meron ngayon, di ba? Some companies today still do not hire people with tattoos. Diba? Dahil nga nadadala sila dun sa mga stereotypes dito, naapektuhan na ang decision making nila or pagtrato nila sa grupong ito. Ayan. Ito pa, mag-ano pa tayo guys, mag-assume pa tayo. How would you describe this person on screen? This is person from baby boomer, may nasa kotse, merong blazer na mamahalin, may cellphone na hawak. Anong masasabi nyo? Sabi ni Legacy, parang rich, parang mayaman. Yan, buuin natin ang storya, guys. Ito daw ay CEO of the company. Mukhang bachelor daw ang na-describe ko. Businessman, yayamanin. Okay, guys. Good job, good job. Marami po tayong na-assume doon. How about this? Picture a woman na medyo na may pearl earrings, tapos may ganyang pa-vest. Yan. Anong masasabi nyo? Buuin nyo. Mukha daw siyang upper class, sabi ni Joey. Anong masasabi nyo sa woman on the screen? Mukha daw siyang retired SC judge. Wow! Saan nakuha ni John yun? Pero parang doon daw niya na-associate tong girl. Mukha daw siyang research teacher. Guys, ang point, ganito kadali mag-assume, no? It's natural for us as humans to have assumptions or to have first impressions. Hindi yun mawawala sa atin, di ba? Baka based to on experience o kaya wala, feeling lang natin, di ba? Mukhang doctor daw, sabi ni Alexandra. Now, matanong ko kayo, ask yourself, are we generalizing? Are we guilty of generalizing the older generations? Merong sumikat na statement sa Twitter, yung okay boomer statement, na tuwing may nagdedebate na bata at matanda, sasabihin ng bata doon sa matanda, okay, boomer, di ba? Di ba merong ganong sumikat na statement? Meron bang stereotypes attached to that statement? May mga labels behind that call out natin na boomer, 'di ba? Yes daw, sabi niya. Parang nailata ako sa sarili ko nung sinasabi ko 'yun. Parang mean girl lang. Yes, 'di ba? Meron, magandang nakaka-reflect tayo dito. And at the same time, are we also being generalized? Is our generation also being generalized? But naman sa bata na nagte-take part sa social issues, sabihin naman also being generalized is galang. Diba? Are we also being labeled? Yes. So ang dami ni yes. Parang, it's a tie, sabi ni John Art. It's a tie daw. Give and take lang yan. So, ngayon, aware na tayo, diba, na these are really just shallow labels. Sobrang surface level lang ng mga descriptions nito. Kaya instead of conforming to these labels that they have for us, we owe it to ourselves to dig deeper and see who we really are, di ba? Let's debunk the stereotypes on the news. How did we end up being seen this way? Lalayo pa ba tayo? Itong pandemic ito na sabay-sabay nating na-experience. Anong mga qualities of behaviors ang nakuha ng youth dahil sa pandemya? Can be something very light, like marami naging dancer. Diba? Parang ngayon naglabasan ng talent ang mga Filipinos. No? Ang dami palang magaling sumayaw at mag-joke. Yan. Sabi ni Miko, marami daw ngayon sa generation natin naging anxious, naging socially awkward. Pwede rin. Kasi diba, paminsan nakikita ko yung kapatid ko, lahat sila naka-off cam sa classes. Imagine mo yun, marami na ngayon marunong mag-fact check. Sabi ni Alex, yes, na-realize natin na sobrang life skill ang mag-fact check. Si Maria, maraming procrastinators. Sabi ni Prince, mas naging interested sa politics. Totoo. Talagang active. Maraming naging active sa politics. So yan, this is how shared events shaped us. Sabay-sabay nating tong in-experience and in a way, it affects our personality, di ba? Ang ating values. Next, resources available. Isa pa yan. We get qualities from whatever is available today. Ano bang available today? Modern technology, 'di ba? Sa bahay kapag may problema sa Wi-Fi o kaya kailangan ni lolo at ni lola magpalit ng profile picture, sino ang unang tinatawag? Tayo, 'di ba? Kasi tayo daw yung tech savvy. Minsan bayad pa tayo after natin ayusin yung yung profile picture ng lola natin, ika-crop natin, 'di ba? Tapos parang appreciate nila. Kahit na yung parents natin marunong din naman, tayo ang tingin nila sa atin, tayo yung tech savvy. Well, it is true. It is true. We are born and we have lived with all these advancements. Kaya I would say that we are really a tech savvy generation. Tinatawag tayo para mag-copy-paste ng text. Diba? Yung tumang-tuwa sila kapag naayos natin yung spreadsheet. Diba? Next, ito pa. um, ayan, arising social issues. 'Di ba? We get qualities from awareness sa mga issues na meron today. For example, nung nasa UPLB ako, may kwento ko lang, nakita ko yun eh. At nakiparte rin ako sa pag-boycott ng students ng isang restaurant. At hindi ko na po ilalaglag kung anong restaurant yon. Pero it's because we became aware on an issue on contractualization. So yan, talagang walang kumakain sa restaurant na yun. Hindi na rin ako kumain doon kahit walang pila. Dahil nga, yun, the youth has formed the culture of being woke as a response to current issues. Next, hindi lahat ng bagay, lahat ng qualities na kukuha natin from our generation. Meron din tayong mga age-related qualities. Of course, from exposure, 'di ba? Exposure sa ating family, affiliations, environment. Nakakaapekto 'yan kung anong klaseng tao tayo magiging, 'di ba? For example, si Daniel Rose Crisostomo. Napaka ano naman ang pangalan. Parang gusto ko ito ilagay sa Florante at Laura. Ayan. Daniel Rose Crisostomo. Natutunan niya maging masipag dahil ganito ang kanyang magulang. O, diba? Talagang nakaka-affect din talaga kung sino ba yung parents natin, ano bang na-impart nila sa atin. Also, we get qualities from limit of experiences. Diba? Balikan niyo yung high school days niyo. Sino ba dito ang may strict parents? Yung na-experience na yung gusto niyo lang gumala with friends. Dati big deal yun, di ba? Yung gagala ka lang, magmamall ka lang with friends. Pero parang napaka-big deal. Tapos, sino kasama mo? Sige, ganyan. As in to the point na kailangan mag-iyakan pa kayo sa bahay. Kailangan mabait ka na 2 weeks before para lang payagan kang pumunta sa mall. Pero today, parang ang dami na nakaka-mall na bata, di ba? Ayan, gala now, interrogation later. Sabi niya, paano mo nagawa yan? Ako parang interrogation now and later. Ayan. So, ano kaya ang naging effect ng limit of experience na ito? Sabihin nyo guys, anong naging epekto? Ito ang epekto sa akin. Pagdating sa college, wag niyo naman ako masyadong tularan baka sabihin niyo, ginawa niyo akong example. Pagdating ng college, syempre naging kaladkaring kaibigan na ako, 'di ba? Kasi freedom, 'di ba? So, sumali na sa mga sorority, tapos yan laging lumalabas. Yan po guys ang epekto ng limit of experience. So, this is just an example guys. Hindi lang kasi ang limit of something. An abundance of something or a limit of something can affect what you will want and who you will become in the future. Yan. And now my favorite, we get qualities from personal preferences. Bakit ko to favorite sabihin? Because this teaches us that the world isn't the only thing shaping us. No, hindi natin pwede sabihin na naging ganito ako kasi ginanto mo ko o kaya naging ganito ako kasi dito ako na-expose. You also have a say on what kind of person you will become, 'di ba? Parang si nasabi na kita, iba naman, si Alexandra May Guialon, tinuruan niya yung sarili niya maging mapagbigay sa kapwa. Yes, pa-scholar naman dyan, Alexandra. Tapos si Mark Angelo Co. Yan, tinuruan niya yung sarili niya maging matatag at mag-move on na sa ex niya. O, di ba yun yung mga taong tinutularan? Ayan, so it depends sa people na nakakasalamuha mo, sabi ni Mark. Totoo, di ba? Nature and nurture. Okay, now the point is, what everyone should see is that our generation is this way. Hindi lang ito bigla-biglang nangyayari. It's because of what's happening in the present. We are this way because of the resources we have now and because of the social issues that we have become aware of. Stereotypes are not always true or they don't capture the full story. Diba? Hindi yun yung kabuuan ng kung sino tayo. Kaya sino ba talaga ang millennials at Gen Zs? Ayan, millennials have a value for work in the society. Millennials are agents of technological potential and they have the best of both worlds perspective, making them open to change. Ano ba tong best of both worlds na to? Ganito kasi yan guys, ang mga millennials kasi, and I would say some Gen Zs as well, nandito tayo nung time na meron pang mga racks of DVDs. Alam niyo yun? Dati kasi pag gusto natin manood ng movie, hindi tayo magsuscroll sa phone. Lalakad tayo, pupunta tayo sa ating DVD rack o kaya DVD album, di ba? Tapos doon tayo maghahanap ng movie. Naalala niyo ba yon? Or ako lang ba? Come on guys, naranasan niyo na bang magpakpak ng DVD player para lang gumana yung CD? Ayun, sabi nga ni Irish, yung mga pirated CDs, yan. Ayan ang natutunan natin doon. Tapos, ang Gen Zs naman have a proactive, mission-driven view for society. They are agents of technological advancements, and they have a looking ahead perspective, making them eager to take part. Now guys, mahilig ba kayo dito? Mag-zoom in na tayo. Magsimula tayo sa mga millennials. Okay, so yung mga millennials kasi, their parents were born in the 50s and 60s. So, ibig sabihin nito, we were subjected to traditional parenting styles. Ano ba ang traditional na nabulol ako dahil sinabi ni Daniel, Video City, yes. Okay, anyway, ayan, nabulol ako. So, ito na. How would you describe traditional parenting? Message yan sa chat box. Anong naaalala niyo sa traditional parenting? Tapos tingnan natin kung may makaka-relate. Ano ba yan? Ano ba ibig sabihin nun kung subjected ka sa gantong klaseng parenting? May curfew, sabi ni John. Ano pa? Wala nang iba? May curfew. Totoo yan. Dati talagang kahit yung gala ko dyan lang sa labas ng bahay, kailangan sa bahay na ako by 6 p.m. When parents expect their children to respect and obey. Totoo yan. Hanger gang, sabi ni Carl. Ayan, nabuhay ang mga napalo ng hanger. Magpo at opo. Ayan. So, this is kasi the type of parenting na parang parents are the boss and children must have unquestioning obedience, no? Huwag ka sasagot. Tsaka, hindi lang naman ito mga negative, mga puro lang, pamamalo, guys. Puro kasi kayo punishment. Ito din yung gusto ng parents na alam nila kung nasaan ka, gusto nila lagi mapunta ka sa tama, bibigyan ka nila ng maraming advice, sermon, di ba? Ayan. Now, how did this affect us kaya? No? Is this why millennials in the workplace are very receptive to feedback and guidance? Yun kasi yung sinasabi ng studies about millennials today, na we work best daw with constant guidance and affirmations. So, pwede natin i-connect. Maybe it's because we were raised that way. Yan. So in education naman, we're interested in non-traditional learning. Mas naging innovative tayo sa ating mga learning styles. And then for technology naman, we witness a transition from analog to digital. Sabi ko nga, di ba, we experience old technology and the welcoming of new technology. We are actually a product of both worlds. And this makes us resilient, adaptable, tapos napaka-open to change. Okay. At flex natin din ang ating millennials, guys, who pushed for gender equality in schools, workplaces, and in the society. We pushed for the separation and balance of work and life, di ba? Tapos minaximize pa natin yung internet para i-build ang ating network. Sino ba dito ang nakapag-Friendster? Na dati doon ako naglalabas ng aking mga quotes na kinuha ko lang din naman sa Google. Ganun. Okay, so on to my favorite point. Ayan, balikan natin ang ating yes, emo days. Tama ka, Daniel. Parang medyo emo nga ako nung nasa Friendster ako noon. Ayan. So, sino ba dito ang naka-experience ng Nokia phone? 'Di ba na kahit pag ipapasa mo sa kaibigan mo, itatapon mo lang, tas okay lang, guys. Di na kailangan ng hard case. Kasi case na siya. Hard. Ay, hard na yung case niya. Ayan. So, maraming naka-experience ito. Para ma-appreciate natin. Sige nga guys, message nyo dyan. Ano ba ang mga games na nilalaro natin dyan sa Nokia? Sabi nga ni Shian, do you remember the games? Inunahan ako ni Shian sa pa-question ko eh. Snakes, ayan. Number 1 talaga ang snakes dati. At my favorite ako dyan, it starts with the letter S, tas may second word siya, starting with the letter I. Alam niyo yan guys, ano yung sinashoot niyo yung mga spaceship? Ayun, Brian, Space Impact. Grabe guys, ang galing ko dyan. Feeling ko, sharpshooter ako nung time na yun. Grabe. Ayan, tas ngayon, wala na tayong Nokia, or meron pa rin naman, pero ang ginagamit na kasi ngayon, mga iPhone, Samsung, Switch, ano na ba ang mga laro ngayon na uso? Hindi na po Space Impact. Ano na ang mga laro ngayon? Siyempre, mauuna dyan ang Mobile Legends. Na-foresee ko na yan. Tinan mo, 4 na tuloy-tuloy sa chat box natin. ML, ML, ML. Roblox, Elden Ring, COD. Yes, guys, these are the games na nakapag-realize sa akin na hindi pala talaga ako sharpshooter. Yan. Tagahawak ako ng medkit. Magaling ako na healer. Ayan. Tapos, tingnan nyo naman yung www na browser, na experience natin yan. Tapos ngayon na nag-switch na tayo to Chrome. We were here during the times na may CDs pa tayo na kailangan maihipan at ngayon na laptop na lahat. This is why we are a generation that can embrace change. Kasi kita nyo naman, we thrive in what's new. Diba, nakaka-adapt tayo. Yan ang power natin. Diba, alalahanan niyo yun. We are adaptable. Next. Generation Z naman tayo, guys. Ang Gen Z naman, their parents were born in the 70s and 80s. So, I would say hindi na po ito traditional parenting style. Ano na to? Medyo democratic parenting style na. 'Di ba? Parents today encourage negotiation while still being of authority. And instead of shouting and spanking, 'di ba? Amin nyo guys, hindi na siya ganun ka-acceptable ngayon, 'di ba? Yung spanking and shouting na yan, as much as possible, iniiwasan na yan ngayon. Instead of those punishments, parents discuss the consequences. Diba? And Gen Z's experience more freedom and more leniency compared to the older generations. Diba? Isang malaking sana all para sa mga ating tulad ko at sa mga sa mga ka-age ko dyan, diba? Ngayon, today, parang yung kapatid ko parang nakailang gala, nakailang sleepover na, diba? Kaya, so okay lang guys kasi everything is evolving, diba? Embrace the change. Anyway, for educate, so is this why pala in the workplace naman, Gen Zs are known for their independence? But studies have found that Gen Zs prefer to figure things out by themselves. Is this because of the freedom that they were blessed with? Yan. Yun talaga, blessed sila na nakuha nila yung ganong freedom and enjoyment. Ayan. I do not think so, sabi ni Tiffany. Depende rin. Meron pa rin sigurong mga Gen Zs ngayon na strict pa rin yung parents. Okay lang yan. Now, for education naman, Gen Zs are more interested in taking longer academic tracks. Diba? Doctorate, masters, diba? It's all about creating a bright future for themselves. And kung ang Gen Zs ay digital migrants from old technology to new technology, Gen Zs naman are born at the peak of technological advancement. I think we can all agree na Gen Zs are very intuitive learners, multitaskers. Now, because of the technology na kasama nila growing up, they may have a lack of patience. Totoo yan. But one thing is for sure, Gen Zs are empowered with today's technology. Ramdam nyo ba yan, guys? Nararamdaman nyo ba yung power nyo bilang isang tech-savvy na Gen Z? Dapat alam nyo yan. Dapat, yes, yan. Hinihintay ko eh. Dapat alam nyo kung anong kapangyarihan ng isang taong maalam sa ngayong technology na to. Yes, okay. Dahil kung ang millennials, ang hanap namin ay separation and balance of work and life, Gen Zs want something different. They want work-life integration. Ba? Gen Zs really value doing what you love. And you can observe this in starting businesses today. Go to Instagram, to TikTok. Tingnan nyo yung mga starting businesses ng Gen Zs. They reflect personal advocacies and interests. Diba? If you love gaming, meron ba tayong mga gamers dito? Sige nga, shoutout sa mga gamers natin dyan. Message nyo naman sa chat box. Meron ba tayo? Mga mahilig dito sa mag-spend ng hours sa games. Ayan, feeling gamer lang daw, sabi ni Christy. Okay lang, ganyan din ako. Ayan, temple run lang po pala. Ayan, marami dito mga gamers, diba? Now, gusto kong i-appreciate natin how today it's possible to build your career around gaming. Diba? I have observed in my friends, sa family ko, na talagang you can make your passion your profession today. You can even build your career on social media if you love managing social media platforms. There is so much potential around us because of modern technology, and it is the youth who is maximizing this today. Yan. So flex nyo naman, di ba, ang inyong pagiging tech-savvy sa pag-maximize nyo ng mga technology na meron ngayon. Also, Gen Zs continued and amplified the fight for equal rights. And with the total rise of technological advancements, Gen Zs even found ways to earn while not being in an office. Diba dati, doctor, scientist, lawyer ang top 3. Ngayon po guys, pwede tayo kumita na nakapajama lang. Diba? With Bitcoin trading, Laika, and maraming wearable technology and everything. These are, yan na nga, sabi ni Alex, Axie. Nakalimutan ko pang sabihin. Yes, parte din po ako ng world of Axie ngayon. Siyempre, keep up with the times, guys. Baka mapag-iwanan. Now, these are all things to embrace. Diba? Who better to maximize the use of these things than the youth and millennials who adapt and thrive in change? Kung merong makakagamit ng teknolohiya ngayon para sa ikabubuti ng bayan, definitely, sino yun? Sino? Tayo yun. Diba? Isang malaking tayo naman dyan. Dapat alam niyo yun. Magagamit natin ng teknolohiya para i-forward ang Pilipinas. That is why I encourage you to feel empowered, to know your power, and to use this power for good. Diba? Sa nation building. Yes naman sa mga tayo city naman. Ayan. So, balikan natin ang mga labels sa atin, no? But this time, let's dig deeper. Ba, tayo raw ay woke. Now, some people think being woke is a negative thing, but really, being woke is being socially aware. Diba? It's knowing where you stand and being ready to fight for your cause. Next, tayo raw ay entitled. But being entitled is not always a bad thing. Alam kasi natin kabataan na tayo ang magmamana ng Pilipinas, 'di ba? Kaya ang pagiging entitled natin is really all about creating the future or the Philippines that we want. We are high dreamers. May mga gusto tayo makuha o makamit. Hindi lang naman para sa ating sarili, pero para rin sa kinabukasan ng kapwa nating Pilipino. Isa pa, they say we are snowflake, sensitive. Actually guys, I would agree. Sensitive nga tayo. But what matters is why, no? Bakit nga ba tayo sensitive? It's because the youth value creating a space. We argue against ideas that are culturally insensitive, inclusive. We speak up for those who are oppressed and underrepresented. So this is sensitivity for not arguing just ours, but also for others. Awareness na kailangan natin maging sensitive rin sa mga kapwa natin. So, I'm not saying everybody that there is nothing to improve. Baka iniisip niyo masyado kong gina-justify. No. Like for example, cancel culture. The promising quality behind cancel culture is that this shows how we've become online activists. Yun yung maganda doon. But the real question is, have we been making the best impact online? Kasi if your online activism causes others to have a social media detox, causes others mental health to suffer, or causes more fake news to surround us, diba? Considering na we may have to improve, diba? Ang pagiging online activists natin. We may also have to improve how we deliver our message sa people. Next, in connection to that, yung label rin na walang galang daw tayo. Now, truthfully, what I love about the youth is our determination to defend our values. Diba? Pansin niyo yun? Napaka-passionate ng youth when they declare their hopes and dreams for the Philippines. But again, it's up to us to make this positive quality shine more. And it all depends on how we choose to speak, how we deliver our message, how we talk to each other. Diba? Kasi equally important to what we want to say is how we say it. And also, by cosplaying to si Marcana. Ano ba yan? And also guys, let's notice that we can afford to be all these things today, partly because of the generations before us. We are actually not so different from the older generations because weren't the baby boomers woke as well when they started all these movements? Weren't they high dreamers as well when they instilled the first female president of the Philippines? Generation X din, who were the first bloggers, blogging even before blogging got its name, who founded Friendster and MySpace. Could we have been the online activists we are today without their contributions? Diba? Aren't we all so different yet kind of the same? Remember that they walked so that we could run. Yeah, pa Taylor Swift tayo dyan. We couldn't be the Filipino youth we are today without them. So, yakapin nyo naman ang inyong mga older generations dyan, yung baby boomers and Gen X, diba? Isang malaking thank you rin sa kanila because they have also empowered us. They walked so that we could run today. Ayan. Also, one more thing you have to note, there has been progress, diba? Because people spoke up. Because the baby boomers and Gen X spoke up in the past, and because we are speaking up today. Kaya I encourage you all to fight, no, for your advocacies. If you feel strongly about something at alam mong ikabubuti ito ng bayan, do not stay quiet. Speak up. Diba? Kailangan na ipaglaban natin ang mga alam nating tama para sa ating bayan. Now, may tanong ako. Let's say na you all have this fire to really fight for your advocacies. Ang tanong, may kailangan pa ba kayong maabot bago kayo may magawang pagbabago sa lipunan? Yes or no? Or pasimplihin natin yung tanong. Ang edad ba natin ay isang limitasyon in moving Pinas forward? What do you feel? I mean, how do you feel about that? Yes or no? Is our age actually a limitation as we move Pinas forward? Now, may mga tao dito on Zoom na nagsasabing yes, na they do feel that age is a limitation. Yes, may mga nag-yes, may mga nag-no as well. No age is just a number, sabi ni Joe Maray. Now guys, gusto kong malaman nyo, based sa lahat ng pinag-usapan ngayon, can we say that our age is a limitation? Big no, nagbabago na bigla. Sa lahat ng power na pinag-usapan natin kanina, ng pagiging parte ng youth, masasabi ba talagang natin yung age natin ang naglilimita sa atin? Ayan. No guys, tama kayo na hindi ito limitasyon. We may be limited. Baka kasi iniisip nyo, tama naman, we are limited in resources. We are limited in privilege. And in experience rin, limited din tayo doon. But age is not a limitation. In fact, it is one of our strengths. Kasi dala ng ating edad at pagiging parte ng henerasyon ngayon ay ang pagiging what? Creative, resourceful, tech-savvy. No? Maging proud naman tayo sa mga strengths na meron tayo ngayon, di ba? So, kung hindi pa kayo naniniwala sa akin dahil baka may iba pa dyan na nagda-doubt pa sa ating power as youth, tara, maglalaro tayo. No? It's game time, power of the youth. Ganito, magbibigay ako ng 3 statements, tapos sasagutin niyo sa akin, anong statement dito ang lie? No? Which among the choices is the lie? Spot lie about is ano dito ang or ano dito or C. Ayan. So, sabi C. The answer is A. Guys, hindi po totoo Asyo ang Katipunan at age 31. He actually formed it at age 29. Imagine, the actions that made him a hero began in his 20s. Sipin mo yon? Kilala siya ngayon sa mga ginawa niya nung siya ay nasa 20s pa. Next, spot the lie about Jose Rizal. A. He resided in Europe and wrote most of his novels there. B. He was 26 and now Filipinismo at age 3. Or C. Taught the Spanish rule, which is the lie. Yan. So, ang mga sagot dito sa Zoom, B, C, B, C, B, C, C, C. Ang daming C. The correct answer is C. He didn't really gather an army, but he did spark a revolution through his writing. Sa kanyang pagsusulat lang. Guys, nakuha niyo ba yon? He published Noli Me Tangere at age 26. So, sa mga nag-iisip dyan na, bata pa ako, sino makikinig sa akin? Well, alalahanin ninyo na ang mga sinulat ni Rizal nung siya'y bata pa, yun yung mga salitang hanggang ngayon, hindi natin kinakalimutan, inuulit-ulit at pinag-aaralan bata pa sa atin. It was words from the youth. Next, spot the lie about Kevlar. A. He was a general at age 20. Next, which is hanapin. Alright. Alright, ayan, sorry, nakabalik na. Sobrang mix naman mix ng answers natin at ang tamang sagot po ay si Alright. Wala masyadong bakit. Because Brigadier at age 24. Ibig sabihin nito, he became a general and he served in the military all 24. Diba? Ang pressure naman pa niya. Ano ba ang makukuha natin sa game na ito? It's proof that the youth have changed the world. That the youth can make people listen. Diba? And imagine that the youth also became heroes in the past. Diba? Lagi ito nangyayari. And imagine at a time na wala silang teknolohiyang meron yung now, you might say, iba ba sila? Matagal na yan. Diba? Kailangan pa ba nating mamatay para lang maging last part. Oh, hopefully, Susan, hindi na putol-putol. Ayan, first part of Gen ka magaling. Matanong ko kayo, guys. Is putol. Guys, so, back. Okay, narinig niyo putol pa. Ayan. Ito na, guys.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Shai, how's it on your end?
Yeah.
No, habang ang ating kasama si Shai ay
Okay,
mag-aasikaso ng kanya. Yes. Yeah. Habang si Shai ay nag-aasikaso ng kanyang slides, let me continue, no? Where we left off. Wait lang, ha? Just prepare the slides. But as we're waiting for the slides, no? Can you believe, na yung mga bayani natin at a young age, no? Ay kaagad, no? Nakagawa kaagad ng maraming mga, what do you call this? No? Napakaraming mga accomplishments, no? So as we can see, no, despite the even less technological advancements on their end, ay napakalaki ng potential ng kabataan in whichever part of history para makapag-contribute, no, sa pag-develop ng ating bayan.
Okay na yung Wi-Fi? Is it good?
Hi, Shai. It's a bit better. How is it, everyone?
Thank you. Ayan. Hopefully it's good now. Pero building on what Bruno said, na yes, nakita nga natin ang pagiging bayani ng kabataan in the past. Pero ang tanong ko sa inyo, guys, ay makikita din ba natin yun for today? At in today's time? Ang pagiging bayani lang ba ay makikita lang natin sa ating history books? Do you think it's just a thing of the past? Yes or no? Is it just a thing of the past? Para pag-usapan yan or pag-isipan yan, panoorin ang video na ito. Just a thing of the past?
Welcome
yes or
back,
no?
Pinas
Is it just a thing
Forwarder.
of the
If you've reached this video, that means you have covered a lot of topics. So, a round of applause for you. You learned who your generation is, despite the labels. You found that age is not a limit. And you have proved that the youth have changed the world. Heroism is not a thing of the past. Sit back, relax, take a sip of that coffee, and check out these modern-day heroes. Marcus Chu is a grade 10 student who received a 3D printer as a Christmas gift. He decided to use this to make face shields for medical frontliners.
While most of us are hitting that play button on Netflix and YouTube, Marcos kills time making shields. By the way, it takes an hour and 20 minutes to make one. You can help the community, even if you're just at home. Jared Gaviola is a grade 9 student who started a donation drive called Tara, Tulong Tayo Food Donation Drive. He is a high school scholar, yet he chose to use his allowance to donate essentials to families in need this pandemic. You don't need to be wealthy in order to make a difference. Melicor, Fantonial, and Espra, with their professor, created a device that could assess real-time weather atmospheric conditions. This has a GPS tracker that can signal when a nearby object is lost. It does not need internet connection, making it a great invention for farmers in rural areas. And did I mention, this is just a high school project. They went beyond expectation to make life easier for others. Your mind and your ideas can be a gift to others. For those who use social media every day, let Charissa's story inspire you. 19-year-old Charisse, with her friends, used the power of hashtags and tagging. They established a youth-led organization called #May20Ako. It all started with the question, May 20 ka ba? They used social media to spread their message. Their target was 2,000 pesos to buy 100 sanitizers. But in a span of 24 hours, they reached 100,000 pesos. And in time, with some help, they reached 4 million, all for those in need. You can be heroes with today's technology. Have you heard of the community pantry? Did you know it all started along Maginhawa Street at Quezon City? Ana Patricia Non brought a bamboo cart filled with food and a sign saying, magbigay ayon sa kakayahan, kumuha batay sa pangangailangan. Then, a ripple effect happened. She inspired a national movement of helping one another. It's all about giving what you can and taking only what you need to leave some for others. All heroic acts start with an idea. For our next modern day hero, we have a blank page. Because it is you who will write this next story. Your story. You are creative and resourceful. You can have ideas that can spark a change. You have what it takes to be a modern day hero. One act of heroism you could do is to exercise your right to vote. The 2019 Comelec data shows that there are above 19 million registered voters from Generation X, 18 million registered voters from the youth, and above 17 million registered voters from baby boomers. 18 million isn't bad, right? But what if I tell you, more than 4 out of 10 young Filipinos do not register as voters. Around 3 out of 10 registered young voters do not vote. Kung boboto sana ang lahat ng kabataan, mababago natin ang kinabukasan ng bayan. So few of our leaders today are part of the youth. The average ages of people in our government are 52, 76, and 56. Paano naman ang kayang maiambag ng kabataan? Don't you think we need leaders who can represent us? And who better to represent our values than someone from us? Exercise your right to vote. Move Pinas forward. To the person watching this video, the question you must ask yourself is not, can I be a hero? Because you can. Instead, ask yourself, how can I be a hero? You have something special. You have something to offer. Tandaan, everything starts small. You can be a hero to your friends, to a rescue center, to a nearby community, or even just to one person. Alalahanin mo na ang community pantry nagsimula sa isang simpleng bamboo stand at sign sa Maginhawa Street. Ang 4 million pesos, nagsimula sa 20. So let's go back to the first question. Does the youth have what it takes to be heroes? With who they are and what they have? Yes, they can. You can. And that marks the end of our hangouts here in hashtag #GenKaMagaling. Ito man ang dulo ng ating kwentuhan, this is the time na ipagpatuloy ang ating nasimulan. Ang kwento nating kabataan, ang kwento ng ating bayanihan.
One more time to all our viewers here on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom, and also there on Radyo Totoo. Does the youth have it? We have what it takes. And if you agree with me, message us sa chat box. Yes, I have what it takes. Kasi magandang alam natin ang kakayahan natin at gamitin natin ito sa pag-move ng Pinas forward. Message yan. Yes, I have what it takes. Yan. Let's try for the better. Yes, Joseph, tama. Catherine, yes, I have what it takes. Thank you so much, Cherry. Back. Habang si Bruno, you can find Instagram and you can follow who are chat who have what it takes. Bruno? Or
Ayan, thank you so much naman siya. Raos natin iyon at maraming salamat sa inyong lahat sa pakikinig. Of course, you can always get to talk to our Ate Shai, about Jen Kamagaling and more through her Instagram. Again, it's at Shaira Angela A. Alalahanin natin kung anong natutunan natin from Jen Kamagaling. Again, we have us Gen Zs, us millennials, we have value for work in society. We have the potential because we know technology, making us open to change. Yes? So, kung makakagamit tayo ng technology for the good, tayo yung makakagawa nun. As the youth, we can use our power for good, regardless of the stereotypes that they say, whether it's being woke, being a snowflake, kumbaga, ang sinasabi nila, it all just means that we're being socially aware, knowing where we stand and being ready to fight for our cause, wanting to create the future we want para sa mga kapwa nating Pilipino, being culturally sensitive, being activists, yes, being determined to defend our values, but of course, as our generation has experienced yung ganitong stereotyping, so have other generations, and they push through to make change. So I appreciate natin yun, but at the same time, let's build on the work they've made, and push Pinas forward. The big changes come from when we speak, and that brings hope. So let's all speak up and fight for our advocacies. As history has shown us, age is not a limit to what we can do. Dala ng ating henerasyon ang ating galing. We have talents and skills which we can use to move Pinas forward, whether it's in the past or in the present. Because heroism is not a thing of the past. Hindi lang yung mga bayani natin sa kasaysayan ang kayang magbigay ng lakas at panahon, kundi tayo rin. Napakarami nating mga examples kanina. From Marcos, na sa kabila ng pandemic, gumawa ng face shields for our frontliners. From Jared, na nagsimula ng donation drive, ng ating mga young scientists, sila Melicor, Fantonial, Espra, and Bahe, gumawa ng pampalakas ng internet signal. Very important, lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon, kahit high school pa lang. And Charisse, na from just 20 pesos ay nakaipon hanggang milyones para sa ating mga medical frontliners. At syempre, si Ana Patricia na nagsimula ng community pantry movement, galing lang sa iisang bamboo cart. But even by yourselves, you can be a hero to hindi lang by spearheading projects or movements, but even just by casting your vote and choosing a good leader. Ito yung inyong magagawa as part of our generation. You have something to offer. Don't ask, can I be a hero? Instead, ask, how can I be a hero? And just by casting your vote, just by every little thing, you can start with not necessarily by the through the entire nation kaagad, no, but even with just one person. We all have what it takes to do even the smallest of steps to move Pinas forward. All right. So, napakarami nating natutunan for this afternoon kaagad, no? From Ate Shai, from Jen Kamagaling. Turn nyo naman mga kapinas forward. No? So you have a chance to win 200 pesos via GCash just by filling in this statement. No? 200 GCash kaagad just by filling in a statement. The statement is as simple as I can be a modern day hero by blank. Again, the statement is I can be a modern day hero by blank. No? No, fill that in with how you can be a modern day hero. And we'll be choosing one winner from everyone here, no, who puts in their response. No? So get in the chat, no, and you can be that lucky winner who wins 200 pesos via GCash. No? And speaking of winners, nagbabalik din ang Easy, ang pinakamasaya at may saysay na game show ngayon sa April 29, Friday at 4 p.m. Mag-register lang kayo sa link which our moderators will put into the chat box, no? And get a chance to win up to 3,000 pesos worth of GCash. Woo! 3,000! At mag-uwi lang na espesyal para sa ating lahat ng limpak-limpak na kaalaman. No? Kasama natin dyan ang ating guest host, James Caraan from the Cool Pal. So, ano ba hinihintay nyo? Join our group on Facebook. That's Pinas Forwarders. You can type that in your search bar, no, and get into Pinas Forwarders and register through the link which will be placed on the chat box by our moderators. No? At, no, nakapag-picture na ba kayo? No? Have you taken your photos yet? Kasi kung hindi pa, no, remember to post a photo on your Facebook with your setup while attending GenLit. Make sure to include the webinar screen, no? And in your caption, share what you've learned from GenLit. So yung caption ninyo, you've learned from Jen Kamagaling, you'll also learn from our next speakers. No? So include what you've learned in your caption. And of course, our hashtag #PinasForwardGenLit in your caption. Also remember to like our page on Facebook, Pinas Forward PH, and tag that page on your post and answer the GenLit evaluation forms later to be posted, no, para ma-consider namin ang inyong entry. And of course, make sure that your post is public para makita naman talaga namin ang inyong magagandang setup and faces and especially learnings from GenLit. So you have until 11:59 p.m. to take part in this contest. So just upload that. And the maximum of 3 best entries will be chosen. Winners will receive 100 pesos via GCash, no, and be contacted by the Pinas Forward team. At speaking of, ayan, ito pa yung mga setup natin, no, pwedeng by yourselves, pwedeng with your family and friends or your pets, no. Take advantage of whatever lighting or setup you have. Include, of course, the best of the things you've learned, no, from GenLit this afternoon. Our hashtag PinasForwardGenLit and our tag our page at PinasForwardPH. No? And speaking of contest, napakalaga ngayon ang karera para sa pagiging pinuno ng ating bansa. At bilang paghahanda para dyan sa paparating na halalan, Pinas Forward came up with a non-partisan voter education platform called eBoto, which you can access through eboto.ph. To know more, watch this video.
Eleksyon nating lahat ito. Maging sino pa man ang kandidato mo. Magkaiba man ang ating paniniwala, hangad ng lahat ang malaya, tapat, at patas na halalan. Na kung saan ang desisyon ng nakararami ang masusunod, sang-ayon sa ating konstitusyon at saligang batas. Pag online delivery nga ng merienda, nagre-research ka pa kung saan masarap. Ikukumpara mo pa ang mga alternatibo, at magve-verify ka pa ng mga detalye tungkol sa order mo. Ang boto mo pa kaya? Kaya ngayong panahon ng fake news, trolls at mga survey na minsan parang di ka panipaniwala. May website ka nang mapupuntahan na walang kinikilingan at tiyak na pawang katotohanan lang ang laman. Ito ang iBoto. May updated verified information tungkol sa local at national candidates at iba pang mahalagang impormasyon na may kinalaman sa darating na eleksyon. Kinalap, siniyasat at verify ng aming mga researcher at mga fact-checker na sumusuri sa lahat ng balita maging online o offline para di mo na kailangang mag-abala o mag-alala. Sa loob ng 5 minuto lang, malalaman mo na ang pinakamahalagang impormasyon tungkol sa mga tumatakbong kandidato. Maging ang stand nila sa mga isyu ng bansa. Pwede mo pang ikumpara ang 2 o higit pa na kandidatong iyong pinagpipilian ayon sa issue na pinakamahalaga para sa'yo. Bakit namin ginawa ang iBoto? Para makatulong sa lahat ng mga botante, lalo na ang kabataan at millennial na boboto sa unang pagkakataon, upang sila'y may mapagkunan ng impormasyong mapagkakatiwalaan at madaling maintindihan. At para mas masaya, may pag-games din kami. Meron ding mga app tulad ng printable sample ballot, landmark bills, links sa aming partners at mga oportunidad para mag-volunteer. May voters education materials din mula sa PPCRV at Pinas Forward. Sinisikap namin ang 100% katiyakan at pagiging tama ng lahat ng data. Pero minsan, maaaring may mapuna rin kayong mali. Kaya naman, pwedeng mag-update, edit o mag-suggest ng correction tungkol sa laman ng site kapag nag-register. May 2-step verification dahil bawal ang troll dito. Punta na sa www.eboto.ph dahil sa totoo lang, dapat naman na ang iyong impormasyon ay totoo, walang bias at madaling maintindihan. Kaya't maging mapanuri, magkaroon ng tamang kaalaman para sa kinabukasan ng ating bayan.
Ayan. So what are you waiting for, everyone? Whether botante kayo or hindi, I'm sure maraming botante sa inyong kapaligiran, no? Sa bahay pa yan or sa neighborhood ninyo. No. So what are you waiting for? Just visit eboto.ph to view and compare candidate profiles, access voter education resources, play games, prepare your sample ballot, and even volunteer to be part of the eBoto team. And of course, a lot of other content and surprises for all of you at eboto.ph. Mahahanap nyo rin kami on our social media accounts at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Just go to at eboto.ph. No? Yan ay napaka-welcome na makapunta ang lahat ng ating mga kasama here on Zoom, whether it's on Facebook Live or on YouTube, at syempre yung mga kasama nating nakikinig ngayon sa 95.9 FM Radyo Totoo, lakas ng katotohanan. Lakas din ng katotohanan ang makikita nyo sa eboto.ph at pwede nyo gamitin yung lakas na yan, of course, sa ating game show Easy. No? Pero para mas mapalakas pa ang katotohanan na yan, let me introduce you all now, no? To teach us, no, what we need to do sorting out information online. We have our next speaker. Siya ay dating youth leader sa isang community kung saan nag-serve siya sa communications group dito at sa ilang high schools sa Quezon City. Naging sociology lecturer siya sa isang business school bago maging ganap na learning and development practitioner at trainer sa iba't ibang industriya. She's organized and directed a number of community events both individually and within her organizations such as leaders conferences, youth learning sessions, civic events at iba pang katulad dito. Ngayon, siya ay bahagi ng Pinas Forward Academy bilang isang project manager. Mahilig siyang magbasa, mahilig din siya sa music at art. At mahilig siya, syempre, as a Pinas Forwarder, na mag-share din ng kanyang kaalaman, which she will do right now without further ado. Let me welcome on the stage at Kitin from Pinas Forward.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much, Bruno. Maraming salamat sa very energetic introduction dito. Para na-pressure ako sa energy ni Shaira at ni Bruno. So, susubukan kong tapatan yan sa inyong second session na dapat choosy, as you can see, information consumption on social network. So, hello sa ating mga learners. Kagaya lang ng session ni Shaira kanina, ito ay isang kwentuhan session lamang. So feel free to chat sa ating chat box dito sa Zoom, sa atin namang comment section sa YouTube and on Facebook. Hello, nakikita namin ang inyong mga comments. So feel free na makipagkwentuhan lalo kung ang usapan natin ngayon ay tungkol sa pagiging choosy. Okay? So isa yan sa mga bagay na minsan nabibigyan ng negative connotation. 'Di ba? Ang pagiging choosy. Pag kunyari mapili ka, sasabihin ng mga kaibigan mo, ang choosy mo naman, i-go mo na 'yan, 'di ba? May mga pagkakataon na gano'n na posibleng tama 'yon, pero ngayon when we talk about social media, social networks, medyo kailangan ata talaga ay maging choosy tayo. Agree ba kayo doon? Agree? Pwede ko ba makita kung agree kayo sa ating mga chat at comment section? Do you agree that we need to be choosy online? Agree po, agree, yes. Tama, kasi di ba nabanggit nga kanina sa video ng Iboto na kaliwat kanan ang fake news ngayon. So we really do need to be choosy, and that is what we will be talking about this afternoon. For our listeners sa Radyo Totoo 95.9, ang arte ng pagkakasabi ko, no? Radyo Totoo 95.9, this stream will be ending at 3 p.m. but not to worry, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang ating GenLit session sa Facebook page ng Radyo Totoo 95.9 as well as sa Facebook group po ng Pinas Forward, ang Pinas Forwarders. Ayan. So 7 minutes to 3 p.m. kung kayo ay nabibitin pa, sali na po kayo sa mga live stream sa Facebook. Again, sa Facebook page po ng Radyo Totoo 95.9 and sa Facebook group na Pinas Forwarders. Alright? So, sa mga nandito naman sa Zoom at sa mga nasa Pinas Forwarders na at nasa Pinas Forward YouTube, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa usapin patungkol sa pagiging choosy. You know, social media is something that's sort of a gift, no, lalo sa ating mga kabataan, sa henerasyon na ito. 'Di ba? Yung mga parents natin, they had their own taste of their own technology, yung ating mga lolo at lola. Pero tayo bilang mga kabataan na kagaya nga ng nabanggit ni Shaira kanina, ay iba ang ating mga exposure na ngayon, no? Kasama sa pagiging iba ng ating henerasyon ay ang social media. So I have a question for all of you who are on social media. Agree ba kayo? Yan. Agree ba kayo sa statement na ito? What you do online is a reflection of who you are offline. Do you agree? Can you chat it up? Habang inaayos ko at alam ko medyo naglalag po ako ngayon. Okay na ba? Alright. Nababasa ko pa rin po ang inyong mga chat. Agree. Okay, wow. Yung iba, may nag-no, si Mark Angelo. Hello, Mark Angelo, you are familiar. Mukhang active ka sa Pinas Forward. So, hello. So, merong hindi. Kagaya ni Michelle, sabi niya, no, because you don't reveal what's happening behind closed doors. Ooh, I agree. And I actually relate to what you are saying, no? Some are not, sabi ni Daniel. Agree, disagree. Okay, sige. Let's test your answers. So, wala namang tama at maling sagot, pero tingnan natin kung talaga bang nagre-reflect ang ating mga sarili online. Kung ano yung mga totoo nating personalidad at pagkatao offline. Through this activity, which we call react, comment, share, or scroll. O di ba, napaka-creative ng title. Kung ano ang title, yun din ang mechanics natin ngayon, no? So ang gagawin lang natin, ipapakita ko lamang ang 3 examples of things that we see on our news feeds, and all you have to do is chat. Kwento nyo sa akin, comment nyo sa Facebook at sa YouTube. Kung kayo ba ay react, comment, share, or scroll. Sa mga nasa Radyo Totoo pa at naka-standby at nakasubaybay pa, this might be the perfect time for you to go to the Facebook pages of Radyo Totoo and the Facebook group Pinas Forwarders para makita nyo ang activity na ito. Alright? So let's start. G na ba kayo? Ang pangit naman ng pagkaka-freeze ng mukha ko dyan. Okay, G na ba tayo? G, alright, let's go. Wala pa, bakit may mga share and react na? Wala pa yung game. Okay, let's G. First round. Meron sa Facebook na nagpalit ng kanyang profile photo into a candle, a birthday candle, at ang kanyang caption ay walang patay, malapit na kasi ang birthday ko. So this was during the time where the pandemic was hitting a lot of people and so many people are dying, so many relatives of these dying individuals have posted these candles. So siya, sinabayan niya, pero birthday candle ang nilagay niya at yan ang caption. So ang dami nagsasabi sa inyo, scroll, 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 alright. Scroll daw. Okay, yung mga react, kung may react, ano ang i-react nyo? Si Gwendolyn, react daw. Si John Art, react. Nina Cristel, scroll. Julia Andres, scroll with a worried face. So, bakit? Bakit yan ang inyong mga sagot? Okay, sabi ni John Art, magko-comment si John Art, no? Ang insensitive mo naman. So actually that reflects the different reactions to this post. Yung iba, natatawa sa post na ito. Kung nakikita nyo nga yung reactions dyan, puro laughter, puro haha-react. Pero may iba rin na nag-comment na ang insensitive naman, ang daming namamatayan, tapos gagawa ka ng ganyan. So, iba-iba. Now, regardless of what is good or what is bad, yung mga sagot ninyo, does it reflect who you are? Does it reflect your values? Si John Art nga nag-comment, so it probably reflects his thoughts, reflects somehow kung ano ang iniisip niya, hindi ba? So let's think about it. Okay. Oh, Daniel Rose said a different insight, provided us with a different insight. Sabi niya, react sad kasi birthday niya tapos ang daming patay. FB naman niya yon. So, tama rin naman yun. No? May karapatan siya sa sarili niyang account. So, Daniel Rose's comment, does it reflect who you are and how you think also? I think it does. No? Kung kayo ay nag-react, kung kayo ay nag-angry kagaya ni Rohan, ayan, does it reflect who you are? No? So it probably does reflect lang, doesn't necessarily show our entire being. No? At tama yung sinasabi rin ni Michelle, it does not reflect because we all have bad thoughts in our heads that we don't act on. So my question now, Michelle, is if we don't act on it as well, does it also reflect our choices and our decisions? It reflects the kind of person that I am na ayoko, that's not worth my time. Diba? Facebook naman niya yan eh. So in somehow it also says something about us. So let's think about it, no? Do our actions online reflect how we think, our decisions, etc., not necessarily show our entire selves, but reflect a certain hint of who we are. Because hindi naman tayo tatawa dyan kung hindi nakakatawa for us. Hindi naman tayo magha-heart dyan kung hindi natin gusto yan. At hindi natin yan papansinin kung hindi siya kapansin-pansin. Right? Sige, let's try with round 2. This time, you see posts or stories like this. What will you do when you see these? So, merong mga humihingi ng tulong, humihingi ng assistance. What will you do? React, comment, share, or scroll? Okay, share. Ayan, maraming nag-share. Okay, wow, mukhang share. Share and react. Sa mga nagsabi ng react, ano ang reaction nyo? Maganda yung sinabi ni Michelle, share, lalo ipapublic pa niya, no? So tayo, that's the power of social media. If we can't give something, we can share the opportunity to others. Baka yung ibang tao ang makapagbigay, no? Tayo noong wala pang social media, ako naabutan niyo pa ba walang social media noon nung wala pang social media, no? Hanggang word of mouth lang or magte-text lang. So yung mga kakilala lang nila. Pero ngayon, kagaya ng nangyari kay Patreng, no, sa community pantry, dumayo ang mga tao outside her social circles because of the power of social media. So again, going back, share to reach more people, react, share, comment, lahat na po ng interactions para ma-boost, sabi ni Julia. And also that's a very important point that we will talk about later, no? Because there's something about our reactions, comments, and all our interactions to posts that boost these posts. So pag-uusapan natin yan mamaya. Okay, share, react, will help. Okay, will help pa. Wow, nice. Busilak ang kalooban ni Brian Anthony. So good job to you. Ivan Rome says we can help by sharing the post to gain more attention and be responded to with immediate help. So again, whatever your answers are, does this reflect you as a person? Maybe not in your entirety, but does it reflect the goodness in your heart? Probably. I would say probably it does, no? Hindi naman siguro niyan mare-reflect lahat din ng mga kamalian natin sa buhay. Pero yung kabutihang loob natin na tumulong, nare-reflect ng ginagawa natin online. All right? Third round. Third round tayo. Nakakita kayo halimbawa ng ganitong mga headlines. So we are seeing some presidentiables, your presidential candidates talking about their ideas, their insights on relevant issues such as the West Philippine Sea. What are you going to do when you see headlines like this in your feeds? Scroll, react, okay? Kung ano ang reaction, pwede nyo ring ikwento sa akin. React and comment, sabi ni Rhea Angela. React, share, react, comment. Dumami, hindi ko na mahabol. Okay. So, marami magre-react. Oh, good point si Jocelyn. Fact check muna, no? At ang maganda diyan, buksan muna. Okay? Kasi kung headline lang 'yan at ginagawa na natin ng aksyon, delikado, no? So we really need, especially if it's an article, we really need to check it. So tama ang point ni, sino yung nagsabi, ang bilis naman ng memory ko, natitita na ako. Fact check muna, si Jocelyn. Ayan, so good point from Jocelyn. Headlines nowadays are misleading, sabi ni John Art, precisely. That's why we really need to open the articles first. And minsan, John Art, ang nagsasuffer dyan ay yung mga news agencies na talagang may integridad kasi kahit sila ay naki-question na rin, di ba? Dahil ang daming mga ibang gumagawa ng kalokohan pagdating sa paggawa ng maling impormasyon at fake news. So anyway, again, no, we're seeing these. Maybe if it's your bet of a presidentiable, gusto nyo yan, babasahin nyo, i-share nyo, i-heart nyo. Pero if hindi nyo gusto yung presidentiable, baka scroll lang. Pwede rin sigurong basahin, depende sa inyo, no? But again, whatever it is that we do, does it reflect who we are? Does it reflect the choices that we make online? So it must be something that we need to think about. All right. So last comment lang na babasahin ko from Ivan Rome. React, comment, and share specifically your own opinion regarding the politics that we have today, especially since we have the right to speak up. Correct. And may I add, Ivan, that we do it responsibly. We need to also speak up responsibly and kindly as well. So ayan ang power ng social media. Sometimes we do not realize it, but we reveal a particular side of ourselves with the mere likes that we provide to posts, with how we share, with what we ignore. Social media is already an extension of our bodies. Pag kayo nagising sa umaga, anong una niyong inaabot? Atikitin yung Bible po. Good job, good job. Cellphone. Cellphone, sabi ni someone from SKQC. Oy, hello, sa kapwa ko, taga Quezon City. Tubig po, pagkain. Yung kumot, sabi ni Christian, balik tulog. Marami dito, ang sinasagot ay cellphone. Mark Angelo, wait ka lang, hindi pa tapos. Pero manood ka lang at marami ka pang matututunan. So, cellphone daw, fix the bed. Inaabot ko din yung katabi ko. Wow naman, Daniel. Kapatid mo ba yan? Pet mo ba yan? Sino ba yan? Okay, so marami sa atin, ang inaabot, pagising sa umaga, isang mata pa lang nakabukas, no? Inaantok pa, ang unang chinecheck, cellphone. Una, i-check mo lang yung oras pero mamaya may notifications. Sisilipin mo yung notifs bago ka matulog ulit. Diba? So, minsan parang nagiging automatic na sa atin and we panic when our cell phone is not within our reach. Diba? Because not only do we look forward to texts and calls anymore, it's our social networks, it's our social media accounts that we always look forward to in a day. Matanong ko kayo, gaano katagal kayo online sa isang buong 24 hours? How many hours do we spend on social media in a day? Can you guys comment it? Yung mga nasa Facebook ha, and sa YouTube, pwede nyo ring ikwento kung ilang hours kayo on social media. Taray ni John Art, bilang na bilang niya, 19. 19. 18, para safe daw po, hindi mo makalimutan yung name mo. 8 hours, 2 hours. I love your discipline, Rohan. 2 hours. Amazing. So, yung mga nasa Facebook ngayon na nanonood ng GenLit, medyo tumagal kayo ngayon sa social media dahil sa Pinas Forward. 12 hours, 11, 16. 11, may butal si Gwendolyn. Okay. 10 to 15, sabi ni aking kababayan from Quezon City, Irish, Aloysius Irish, 24 hours. At natawa siya sa sarili niya. Oo, no? So, leave some time for rest ha, and for kain. So see, as you can see here, we spend so many hours in a day on social media. So much that it has become a huge part of our lives. If we need help, if we need to share what we are wearing, noong mga panahong wala pang lockdown at sikat na sikat ang pag-OOTD natin, di ba? Social media is the go-to place. If you wanna document your Samgyup Barkada date, post, tag your location, tag your friends, social media. 'Di ba? Napakalaking bahagi ng social depende sa module. Depende sa module kung gaano katagal tumatagal. Ayan. So social media has really become a huge part of our lives, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay? So I am not here to tell you na, oy, tigil-tigilan niyo na 'yan. Nako, masakit mata mo, kaka-cellphone mo lang 'yan, no? So hindi ko kayo sasabihan ng ganyan. Pero may warning pa rin ako. Ang warning ko is that social media can either become a weapon against us or a tool that we can use. And what do you want it to become? Do you want it to become weaponized, or do you want to use it as a tool? Tingin nyo. John Art says a tool for information dissemination, correct? So ayan, tool, all caps with a smiley, si Brian Anthony. I love this crowd, very active kayo. Tool, okay. Ayan. So syempre lahat tayo gusto natin to as a tool. Sabi ni Aloysius Irish, don't allow social media to control you. Agree, dapat tayo ang may control kasi account natin yan. 'Di ba? Account natin yan at yan ay kailangan iniingatan natin kasi dahil extension na natin yan, iniingatan natin ang accounts natin, iniingatan natin ang sarili natin. Okay? Sorry. Could you hear me well ba? Pwede ba akong makarinig ng o makabasa ng kaunting feedback if my audio is better now? I just received the word na medyo hindi. Okay, you can hear me? Clear? Okay, sige. Sorry itutuloy ko na. So, social media can be a weapon or can be a tool, no? When it is a tool and it is within our control, feeling natin it's all good. But sometimes it is weaponized and we don't even know about it. Okay, ayan. So, ito ang isang example, no? Kayo po ba ay naka-experience na nito na yung mga sinusearch nyo outside Facebook, eventually, nakikita nyo yung ads niya within Facebook? Yes? No? Does it happen? Yes, yes daw. Okay, medyo mahangin daw. Aayusin ko po ang aking audio. Habang inaayos ko ito, please do chat me with your okay, sana ay better na, nagbago ba? Ayan, so yes daw lahat. Oo, nangyayari yan, di ba? At nangyayari ito dahil sa tinatawag natin na algorithms. So what are algorithms? Algorithms, these are mathematical sets of rules that specify how a group of data behaves. Familiar ba kayo sa algorithms? So ito yung system sa backstage ng ating mga social media accounts, no? It helps maintain order and assists in ranking search results and advertisements. Sabi ni Ivan, well, we can apply what we have learned from the internet, specifically social media, in our daily lives, but we must be responsible enough and knowledgeable in applying it. Kaya makinig tayo ngayon and be more knowledgeable. Knowledge is essential and educating one another will create a deeper connection toward a brighter future, especially for the youth of today. Yes, I want for president in a few years from now. Tama yan, no? Kasi hindi natin dapat kinakalaban ng social media, dapat iniintindi natin ito para alam natin kung paano gamitin. And going back to the conversation on algorithms, basically what algorithms do is it uses our information to give us more information. 'Di ba? So halimbawa, dito sa nakikita nyo sa screen, advertisements target audience based on gender, age, location, behavior, interests, connections, and many more. So nilalagay niyo yung age nyo sa social media accounts nyo. Paano? When you provide your birthday, when you sign up. 'Di ba? You have your birth year there. And then your location as well. Kasi kung hindi niyo nabigay yung location nyo, baka yung ads na makita nyo ay US based, UK based, no? So if you would notice, the advertisements that you see online are aligned to your preferences. If mahilig kayo sa BTS, sino dito ang ARMY? Never kami nawala ng ARMY sa audience. Meron bang ARMY dito? Sino ba dito ang fans ng local tayo, mga local artists? And you watch the videos, you watch, and maybe you spend a whole lot of hours watching music videos, watching backstage videos. Eventually, sila na yung lumalabas sa ating news feeds, di ba? Because social media decides, okay, so etong si Christy Ann na isang ARMY pala, mahilig siya sa BTS. Let me give her more. Let me give her more content on BTS. Mahilig pala to, plantita pala to, or babad pala to sa homebodies. Bigyan ko nga ng ads ng mga furniture at ng mga bagay sa bahay. Yan, di ba? So, ito yung mga bagay that make social networks work because social networks are businesses as well. Diba? So, ayan, may mga blinks din pala in the house. So, social media is a business, no? Yung Facebook, Instagram, and if you were Mark Zuckerberg, you'd want to earn from what you created as well. So paano nila ito ginagawa? Through ads, through many things, but more importantly, through ads, no? So ang goal nila ay tumagal tayo sa social media. Kaya kayo nag-15 hours, nag-24 hours because you see so many interesting things online. Right? So tumatagal ka, nakakakita ka rin ng ads, kumikita sila. So social media wants us as users to spend more time online so that they can monetize. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay? That's really how it works. However, sometimes it becomes bad when it is weaponized, when it is taken advantage of by people who have bad intentions, kagaya ng pagpapakalat ng maling impormasyon, pagpapakalat ng mga fake na naratibo, pagpapakalat ng mga threats or magpapakalat ng mga nakakatakot na scenarios para gumalaw at para kumilos at para mag-react ang mga tao accordingly, no, so that they can also earn. So social networks provide a very effective platform for influence. But if bad ang intention ng gumagamit nito, nagiging weaponized ito at tayo ang nagiging biktima. So babalikan ko, no, yung activity natin kanina at lahat na napag-usapan natin earlier. Because this is how social media works. Because at the end of the day, who hearts and who likes the posts in your account kayo rin. And because you spend so many hours online viewing the things that will give the algorithm an idea of what to show you more, gets nyo? Then your choices online reflect your choices offline. So if you continue to choose to heart fake news, not knowing that it's fake, what will social media give you more of? The same kind of content. So kung hindi natin nababantayan yung ginagawa natin online, then binibigyan lang tayo ng more and more of the same things until this is the only thing we see. 'Di ba minsan hundreds, thousands ang Facebook friends nyo pero ilan lang ang nakikita nyo sa newsfeed. Hindi naman lahat yun eh. Pag tumingin nga kayo sa friends list nyo, magugulat kayo, ay, oh, nandito pa pala tong friend ko na to, high school friend ko. Oh, andito pa pala to, kilala ko to, ganyan, di ba? Pero hindi sila lumalabas sa newsfeed natin because we don't interact with their accounts and social media decides, this won't keep this person online for a long time. So, ibigay lang natin lahat ng mga pinapansin niya. So, what does this do? It creates a bubble for us. Tayo ngayon ay nagkakaroon ng isang view online na limitado lamang. Because this is how social media works. And so we need not hate social media for this. Wag tayo magalit, wag natin, kasi pwede natin siyang gamitin as a tool. So do not dismiss social media altogether, but think about it. How can we protect ourselves? Especially because dahil nangyayari ang effects ng algorithm at ang mga nakikita natin sa ating newsfeed ay pili na, filtered na according to our activity, we tend to be stuck in filter bubbles, in echo chambers, nagkakaroon na ng tinatawag nating polarization on social media. And for us to get to understand this better, magpapakita kami ng isang video para dito, makinig maigi, mamaya magtatanong ako, okay? So please watch this video.
Welcome back, Pinas Forwarder! Masaya akong makita kang muli, gumigising at bumabangon para matuto di lamang para sa iyong sarili, kundi para rin sa bayan. Ngayon, pag-uusapan natin ang tungkol sa polarization, filter bubbles, at echo chambers. Ano nga ba ang mga salitang ito? At ano ang kinalaman nila sa paggamit natin sa social media? Sa tuwing nagla-login ako sa Facebook, hinahanda ko ang sarili ko. Katulad ng iba, laman ng newsfeed ko ang activities o updates ng aking mga kaibigan, pamilya, at iba pang kakilala. So, what is it about social media that makes people so polarized? Ano nga ba muna ang polarization? It is the division into two sharply contrasting sets of opinions or beliefs. There is no gray area. Polarization can be witnessed in social media, where people loyally take sides in issues and opinions are strengthened by public support. How do we measure polarization? Is there a way to predict behavior by simply analyzing the content consumed by users? A mathematical model published by the researchers at Northwestern University captures how politicized environments affect the formation and evolution of political opinion. Ayon sa modelong ito, when we repeatedly expose a person on social media viewpoints that are different from their own, it just makes them research, dig deep, and reinforce their own opinion rather than being swayed on the other side. Sa madaling salita, sa tuwing tayo ay nakakakita ng content na taliwas sa sarili nating opinyon, sa halip na pag-aralan ito ay hinahanap natin ang mga bagay na susuporta pa sa ating paniniwala. Looking at only one side of a story is harmful. Believing and sharing wrong, unverified information is even more dangerous. This is a photo that circulated online identifying the woman as Vice President Leni Robredo. Naging issue pa ito. As it turns out, hindi pala siya ang nasa larawan. This next photo is of Prince William. Nag-viral din ito dahil sa masamang hand gesture niya, when in fact, hindi pala yon ang kanyang ginagawa kung titingnan sa ibang anggulo ng kamera. As responsible netizens, dapat ay alerto tayo. Huwag post ng post at i-verify kung tama at totoo ang ating mga sinishare. Bahagi ng pagiging choosy ang malawak na pag-iisip. Let us acknowledge na iba-iba ang opinyon ng tao. Merong mag-a-agree sa atin at meron ding hindi. Ngayon at alam mo na ang tungkol sa polarization, tumungo naman tayo sa filter bubbles at echo chambers. Gamit ang mga algorithms, tayo ay na-expose sa online filters. We see content, people, and ideas that we agree with. Imagine, isang araw, habang nagsuscroll ka sa newsfeed mo, may napansin kang isang shared post from an acquaintance, poking fun at your preferred political candidate or opposing a subject you support. What do? Click unfriend and there you go. You just strengthened the reinforcement bubble. Naturally, we have a tendency to surround ourselves with like-minded people. It comforts us. Kesa nga naman yung paligiran mo ang sarili mo with people opposing you, di ba? Sakit lang sa ulo. Dito na rin pumapasok ang tinatawag nating confirmation bias. This is our tendency to seek out and agree with views that are similar to ours and reject those that are not. Ingat tayo dito, friend. Dahil sa bias na ito, sinasayang natin ang ating pagkakataong mamulat sa iba-ibang panig ng isang issue. Ano naman ang echo chambers? Internet activist Eli Pariser defined this as a personal, unique universe of information that you live in online. And what's in your filter bubble depends on who you are, and it depends on what you do. Let's have a quick activity. Head to your Facebook settings. From there, click on Add Preferences. This will reveal a list of data points the website has on you for third-party advertising purposes. The reality is that we are being fed with content which are aligned with our own interests. Kung mahilig ka sa K-drama, siguradong lalabas sa feed mo ang mga apps katulad ng View or Hulu. Kung mahilig ka naman sa skincare, asahan mong lalabas ang ads na iba't ibang brand ng pampaganda. What is the problem with reinforcement bubbles? Una, nililimitahan nito ang ating perspective. Bumubuo tayo ng mundo based on our interactions with brands, with people, and with ideas. If all our interactions are one-sided, it will lead us to believe that our principles are being supported by the majority of the population. Pangalawa, it decreases our empathy. Having the notion of us and them creates a divide on how we process, for example, the pain of another. When we reinforce our collective identity, we tend to be harder on those against us. Panghuli, it inhibits authentic dialogue and genuine change. Standing by your own opinion is okay, but when we strongly reinforce it, we are losing the ability to elevate our ideas and resolve major issues our nation is facing. We have to be open to discussions and criticisms, or else we'll hinder our way towards the improvement of our world. Now, how do we balance our filters? First, reconsider your sources. Pwede kang makinig ng podcasts discussing separate opinions, and from there, you can gain a wider perspective on an issue. Actively engage with people who have different views. Reach out to someone whom you respect. This will help you overestimate your own perspective, plus it can uncover our hidden biases. Watch or attend debates and forums. This will open your mind to various viewpoints of people coming from different sectors, economic status, and academic backgrounds. Makinig sa matatalinong usapan with the intention to understand and not to argue. A nation, kagaya ng Pilipinas, is democratic when everyone in the population can use their voice to select leaders and make decisions for their country. We waste our individual rights and our democracy when we do not use our own voice, and when we allow ourselves to be influenced by those who can control us. Ngayong alam mo na ang tungkol sa filter bubbles at echo chambers, suriin ang sarili para maiwasan ang confirmation bias. Alam kong dapat maging choosy, ngunit huwag natin limitahan ang ating mga sarili na i-explore at respetuhin ang iba't ibang opinyon galing sa iba't ibang tao. Sa susunod na bahagi ng course na ito, pag-uusapan naman natin ang fake news. Exciting at makabuluhan ang susunod na diskusyon. Kaya kita-kits, Pinas Forwarder!
Alright. So, bago ako magpatuloy sa usapin ng fake news, meron ba kayong mga key takeaways from that video? Chat nyo naman. Chat nyo naman sa ating chat box for our friends on Facebook and on YouTube. Please share it as well. What has struck you the most? from that video tungkol sa polarization, filter bubbles, and echo chambers. Alam nyo kasi, polarized naman na talaga ang mundo. At mas naging obvious pa ito noong nagka-social media na. Dahil algorithm came at play, nandun na rin siya, nag-work na rin ang algorithms to strengthen our biases, right? So pag sinabihan tayo na biased ka no? Oo to some extent, we all do have our biases. No? In fact, it allows us to have paninindigan. Diba? We are able to stand more firmly doon sa ating mga stand. Sa ating mga stand, sa ating mga paniniwala. Diba? Sabi dito ni Joseph, we should consider different perspectives, all right? Don't limit your perspective. Sabi ni, ayan, may question si Josiah. I hope I read your name correctly. May tanong po ako, should we blame social media algorithms for the spread of false information and polarization more than the ones sharing the fake news? Absolutely not. Tulad nga na sabi ko kanina, algorithms are there because that's how social media works. Fake news is there because there are fake news peddlers and because there are people believing in fake news, no? And there are people sharing false information. So we really need to do our part. May mga batas, may mga kaunting regulations sa ngayon, pero sabi nga ni Attorney O Nakaritos ng Lente sa isang event ng Pinas Forward called This Collection, ayan, sabi niya na these aren't enough, right? Because at the end of the day, the control still lands upon us, sa ating mga kamay, sa atin na mga users. No? So we really need to still be responsible. And it's also not something healthy kung iisipin natin na dapat nire-regulate ang social media kasi sino ba ang magre-regulate nito? Hindi ba mas magkakaroon sila ng kapangyarihan na gumawa ng kung ano man ang totoo at hindi, kung ano ang tama or mali. And freedom is now being distorted. So at the end of the day, the control is really on our hands. So I hope you're able to answer this, Josiah, no? Kung ang social media, kung ang algorithm ay may impluwensya sa pagkalat ng fake news, may impluwensya rin ito sa pagpapakalat ng katotohanan. So again, weapon or tool lang yan. Isipin natin kung paano natin gagamitin ang social media. Other comments, the importance of having an open mind. Minsan nagiging toxic din ang social media dahil sa fake news. Oo, nakapatong pa yan sa on top of our own personalities and attitude. Yung mga iba talagang may toxic lang na tao. Tapos meron pang toxic na impormasyon ang nagsisilipa na yan sa social media. Pero meron ding mabubuting tao. Meron ding may katotohanan din, may tamang impormasyon din. So we really need to use social media as a tool. All right? So sabi ni Lady Allison Liwanag, ayan, don't limit yourself on learning, know the other's perspective, not only yours, don't be biased. Learning is a lifetime. John Art says, we are all capable of voicing our opinions and ideas, especially on social media platforms, but it should not coincide with adequate information. But it should. I almost doubted what I read. But it should coincide with adequate information, empowerment, and voicing out opinions should always be paired. Voicing out opinions should always be paired with accurate information naman. Wag puro voice out sa social media, be informed and be educated. Tama yan, John Art. I think what John Art is trying to say is we need to be intentional. Share lang ba tayo ng share para may laman ng ating newsfeed? Or meron ba tayong gusto na ipaglaban ng katotohanan? No? Holistic thinking is key, sabi ni Joseph. I don't know if, again, bago natin pag-usapan ng fake news, I don't know if you've seen the news maybe months back tungkol sa Russia and Ukraine. Di ba merong mga kumalat daw na satellite images ng mga dead bodies of Ukrainians. And there were claims na ito raw ay fake, ito raw ay fabricated. So no matter how true the war is, the images daw were fabricated. And biases came into play. Because isipin natin, kung ikaw ay pro-Russia, maniniwala ka na fake yun. Di ba? Talagang paninindigan mo sa buong puso at kaluluwa mo na hindi, Russia didn't do such a thing. But if you are a Ukrainian and you know what's happening in your country, kahit hindi mo rin nakikita yung mga katawan mismo na nandun sa photo, you will say, totoo yan. Ganun nag-work ang mga nakikita nating information on social media at ganun din nag-work ang ating human mind. We tend to really bend towards our biases. So it's very important, even if we have our biases, bias sa kandidato, bias sa ideolohiya, di ba? Kung pro or anti ka sa isang ideolohiya, we should still be open to other perspectives. Ayan, meron ding propaganda warfare, kaya di natin alam kung sino ang tama sa kanila. Correct, no? So, tayo as outsiders, as Filipinos, we're able to see both sides and we're able to address it. Imaginein mo, Irish, kung ikaw ay isang Ukrainian or ikaw ay isang Russian, then automatically you have some form of a bias. You will automatically believe maybe sa isang bagay more than the other. And the advantage we have is we are outsiders. So let's try to look at all the other things we see online as outsiders. That's how we create a bigger perspective sa mga bagay-bagay. And tulad nga ng nabanggit kanina ng mga comments, consider all perspectives. We are not forced to believe everything. Okay? So hindi ko sinasabi na wag na tayo manindigan. Pero kung meron kayong paninindigan, huwag kayong mag-stick doon sa bubble na yon. Try to open your mind. Bakit kaya ganito yung sinasabi ng mga hindi aligned sa akin? We should absorb, we should accept, filter out the fake. Diba? The only thing that we shouldn't consider is fake news. At yan ang pag-uusapan natin susunod. No? Medyo dumilim ang aking screen. Okay, focus na tayo sa ating slides. So, again, consider all perspectives, whether it is aligned or not aligned with what you believe in, but never ever give a chance to fake news. Okay, so ano ba ang fake news? Alam nating lahat na ito ay maling impormasyon, disinformation. But as defined here on screen, so we can move forward with the same mindset. Ano ba ang fake news? This is false content that arouses strong emotions. Anger, fear, indifference. Nakaangkla siya sa ating mga emosyon, kaya nagre-react tayo agad. That's why fake news often comes in the form of really triggering headlines or images, quotes. Halimbawa, na nakatabi sa isang tao at sinasabi na yan ang sinabi niya, and it's triggering. It either annoys us or it makes us feel so happy kahit na hindi pala siya totoo, no? And reminder, ang fake news ay hindi lang limitado sa false information entirely. Fake news ding maituturin ang mga misleading na mga claims, ang mga bagay na walang context, halimbawa, or kulang sa context, maaaring totoo ang picture pero mali ang konteksto. So napakaraming iba-ibang anyo niyan. And in the Philippines, fake news peddling, fake news propagation has become a very effective tool for those who seek public preference. There are those who think that fake news is the way to gain favor, to gain public preference. And even though there are studies that suggest na ang negative na messaging doesn't work, ang fake news pwede pa rin siyang mag-appear as positive messaging. So pwedeng gumawa ng isang positive news tungkol sa isang tao para mas maniwala tayo sa kanya, para mas paboran natin siya. So hindi lang siya laging negative, all right? So fake news can also appear to be positive. And another bad news, I am sorry to say, no, puro bad news, sana ay nag-enjoy pa rin kayo. Fake news is an industry. There is a business behind it. A scammer or a fake news peddler doesn't just wake up in the morning and say, gawan ko kaya ng fake news si ganito. No, hindi. Planado yan. Narratives have been set and there is a business, there is a strategy behind this. And again, here's another video para inyong mas maintindihan ang sinasabi ko. Please watch this video.
Araw-araw tayong nasa social media. Why not, di ba? Napakaraming pwedeng gawin dito. Connect with friends, manood ng iba-ibang videos, at magbasa ng news. Minsan, pati fake news. Paano nga ba kumakalat ang fake news? Bakit nga ba ang bilis at ang lawak ng pagkalat nito? Here's why. Ang pagpapalaganap ng fake news ay isang industriya. Ang pagpapakalat ng fake news ay strategic. Alam niyo bang hindi lang iisa kundi maraming tao ang involved sa disinformation? Get to know them now. The client. Sila ang may motibong manipulahin ang impormasyon para makuha ang simpatsya ng publiko. Sila rin ang pangunahing nakikinabang sa pagpapakalat ng maling impormasyon na pumapabor sa kanila o nakakapanira sa iba. The Chief Architects. Sila ang grand masterminds and strategists. Ang mga strategic na nagpaplano ng fake or manipulative online content na naaayon sa pangangailangan ng client. Ginagamit nila ang kanilang galing para gumawa ng isang panibagong online reality na pwedeng-pwede nating paniwalaan. Sinisiguro ng Chief Architects of Fake News na patuloy na mapapaniwala ang mga tao sa content at reality na inilalathala nila. Digital influencers at fake account operators. Ilang mga celebrities, content creators at famous personalities. Fake news peddlers take advantage of their popularity at silang mga influencers at page moderators naman ay tumatanggap ng bayad. Isa sa mga gumamit ng influencers para ipakalat ang content nila ay ang Twinmark Media Enterprises na pinatigil ng Facebook noong 2019. Milyon-milyon rin ang kinikita ng mga fake page operators para magkalat ng fake news and false information. Legit man o poster pages, marami nang nakolektang followers sa mga accounts na ito dahil sila ay sikat at may impluwensya. Grassroots intermediaries. Kasama na dito ang madalas na tinatawag na internet trolls. Sila ang bridge builders, ang may trabahong abutin ang iba-ibang communities para mas mabilis pang kumalat ang fake news. Ordinaryong tao lamang sila tulad mo at tulad ko, pero sila ay bahagi ng master plan na gamitin ang social network sa paraang pabor sa interes ng client. The public. Tayo ang publiko. Tayo ang bahagi ng mga komunidad na napakadaling maimpluwensyahan. Kung hindi tayo nag-iingat, kung tayo ay nagpapaloko, maaari tayong maging bahagi ng pagkalat ng maling impormasyon. Ang pagkalat ng fake news ay mabusisi at matrabaho. Hindi lang iisang tao ang gumagawa nito, kundi malalaking grupo na nakikinabang sa kanilang panloloko. Kaya ang desisyon ay nasa atin. Mafo-fall pa ba tayo sa maling information o panahon na ba to pay attention?
So, if we think na hindi tayo dapat ma-fall sa maling tao, dapat hindi rin tayo na-fall sa maling impormasyon. At ang tao, ang maling tao, pwede natin niyang kilalanin, kausapin, di ba? So, ganun din sa impormasyon, kailangan kinikilatis din natin sila. Alright, so, ayan, let me just go back a bit. Here we say that a lie told once remains a lie, but a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. So again, let me reiterate, social media in itself is not the problem. No? The problem lies in how it is being used. And kayo, all 180 plus here on Zoom and the others also, marami rin ata on Facebook and on YouTube, imagine niyo kung tayo, isa-isa, lahat tayo merong conscious effort na gamitin natin ang social media natin more responsibly, then we can really make a difference in combating disinformation sa ating lipunan, no? Sabi ni Anonymous, yan, may question tayo from an anonymous attendee. Let me answer it already. Is it possible po ba na maging biased ang mga social media sites? Definitely. No, social media sites, or maybe you're talking about pages. There are pages who are very explicit nga with the color, with the logo that they have, with a kind of content that they produce, no? So merong mga social media pages na talagang na-bias. They really want to push for a narrative. It's not necessarily wrong, no? Because even schools, for example, institutions, kung meron silang ideologies, then they will really post bias to those ideologies. If it's a group or a page on, let's say, LGBTQIA rights, then obviously bias towards the LGBT community ang laman yan. Ang kailangan nating tingnan, more than biases, friends, ay kung fake ba or totoo ang sinasabi. Kasi ang bias, pwede nyo siyang masilip outside eh. Pwede kayong maghanap outside your echo chambers, outside the filter bubbles. Ano kaya yung opposite view nito? Di ba? Pwede nyo siyang tingnan. Pero kung fake news yan,
fake yan. There's no question about it, no? But biases, these things really exist, and we really should not look at biases generally wrongly, no? Biases will only become wrong if this becomes a reason for you not to look outside the picture. Ayan. So kung sino ka man na hindi nagbigay ng pangalan, sana ay nasagot natin ang iyong katanungan dito sa ating chat box. May nag-chat pa. Oh, John Art ulit. Very active si John Art. Fake news should be everybody's concern. I agree. And fact-checking should be everybody's responsibility in return. We cannot easily distinguish fake from credible ones. That's why we should always fact-check and cross-examine news we encounter on various social media platforms. Yes, and I will talk about that in a bit lang, cross-examination. Oh, si Sian pala, Shian? How do I pronounce this? Ayan, ikaw palang nagtanong. So, thank you so much for sharing your question. Sabi natin, if the efforts to spread false information are strong, then the efforts to stop it should be even stronger. No? Ang laki ng effort ng mga industriya na gumagawa ng fake news. So dapat malaki rin ang effort natin. Hindi pwedeng ignore lang. All right? So wag din tayo mag-share ng fake news and then caption it with the correction. Kasi ang nangyayari, binibigyan natin ng more traffic yung post na yon. May nagsabi kanina, I forgot the name, no? So yung tungkol sa pagbo-boost ng mga posts, 'di ba? So even if you react an angry react to a piece of false information, it already gives more traction to that post. The best thing that you can do is to report it. Okay, wag niyo nang bigyan ng kahit anong dahilan para pansinin ng algorithms mo at ng algorithms ng contacts mo yung maling impormasyon na yun. Do not share it even with the purpose of correcting it. Wag. No, do not share it, do not react on it, do not comment on it. All right. So, in summary, online information consumption risks are the following. Una, when we consume information online can be limited dahil nga sa algorithms natin. Dahil finifilter ng Facebook kung ano yung mga bagay na aligned na sa mga dati nating pinapansin na posts. Next, information can also be biased, and it can be a risk when it is biased because na-reinforce ang ating ang ating filter bubbles at ang ating echo chambers. And information definitely is fabricated, especially when fake news happens. John Art says, your thoughts po on Maria Resa's statement calling Facebook as biased against facts? Well, because Facebook is I agree to an extent because Facebook is such a huge network, di ba? And Facebook has the full control. Kaya nga binabanggit ko rin kanina, di ba? The regulations the regulations on social media, if it is also done by people in social media, then they have full control of what they can tag as true or not. Sila na ngayon ang magsasabi kung ano ang totoo at kung ano ang hindi. Tapos may full control sila dito, no? So the only sad part here is there's nothing we can do. We're already on the social network. So we just really need to be very, 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 very careful with what we see online. Diba? Kaya ayan, dito sa last part ng dapat choosy, pag-usapan natin kung paano natin poprotektahan ang ating mga sarili. Mabilisan na tips na lamang ito. Una, we need to read up. So paano tayo magpoprotect na ating sarili kung hindi tayo informed? Kaya kailangan nagbabasa, and kagaya nga ng sabi ng isang comment kanina, I think it was also John, we need to cross-examine. So if you see a piece of information here, look it up sa ibang lugar din. If you see something posted by one page, is it only posted by that page? Because if that's the case, then it might be a narrative that they are wanting to support. Okay? Next. So we need to read up and like and follow only verified sources. Next, we need to verify. So kailangan tayo ay nagpa-fact check. Sabi ni Michelle, look for different angles. Sabi, ulit ma'am, in this case po, for you, should the Philippines have their own social media app? I think it's worth a try because we have a lot of talented individuals, talented developers in our country. But the problem persists pa rin that there will still be people trying to control that. There will still be parties trying to get a hold of the control. So at the end of the day, whether that's local, whether that's foreign, fake news peddlers are still around. The human, Pinoy man yan or hindi, will always have a tendency to believe and will always have a tendency to share if they are not responsible. So it's worth a try to have our own network, pero the risks still apply. Ayan. So, balik tayo. Gagaya nga ng pinag-uusapan natin on the risks, we need to verify. And here are some tips lang on how we can fact check. There's this thing called the Google Fact Check Explorer, which you can explore online. Mas in-depth ito, no? Kung meron kayo nakitang isang piece of information and you're a little bit doubtful if it's true or not, all you have to do is enter the keywords of this piece of information sa Fact Check Explorer at lalabas yung mga iba-ibang sources ng balitang ito. Then you be the judge. Are these sources credible sources or are these personal blogs na may or may not be truthful? So dito, mas nafi-filter natin kung ano ba yung mga impormasyon na totoo. Sa Facebook, sa Google din, meron tayong mga ilang hacks. No? One example of these hacks, these search operators, is putting quotation marks on quotes. Di ba minsan may mga fake news na tinatabi nila yung isang quote sa mukha, halimbawa, ng isang personality, claiming that it is the quote mentioned by this person, tas fake naman pala, hindi naman pala niya sinasabi yon. So what you can do is to search in quotation marks that quote at lalabas din sa results verbatim, word for word, kung sino ba talaga nagsabi or kung may nasabi ba talagang ganon. So kung meron talaga at tama, then accurate yung news. Pero kung hindi, kung parang chapsuy yung lumalabas na information, magtaka ka na, baka na-fabricate yung information na yan. You can also use reverse image search sa Google. So you can right-click on an image kasi di ba fake news sometimes presents itself as a headline na may kasamang picture, di ba? So you can search where that picture came from kasi baka taken out of context. All you have to do is right-click on the photo and click search Google for image. And Google will give you results of where that photo was published. At pag nakita nyo na hindi pala siya aligned dun sa headline, hindi pala siya aligned doon sa article, then that's questionable. That's a questionable source. Okay, next is we need to be critical about URL extensions. Still under the tip of verification, kailangan ay mapagmatsyag tayo. So pag .com or .net, these are very easy to acquire domain extensions. So hindi ko sinasabing fake news agad yan, no? Pero mas madaling gumawa ng website gamit yan. Personal blogs do that. Biased content are placed in websites na nakaganito. Minsan nga nag.ph pa sila, so you need to be extra careful, no? Generally accepted as verified sources of information are government websites, education, so .gov.ph, .edu, .org, or .int for international organizations. But as mentioned earlier, these websites can also have some biases, particularly if they have ideologies that they stand for. If they have certain stands on issues, then their content will be filtered. Not necessarily fake, but filtered. Kaya kailangan lumalabas ka talaga. Hindi pwedeng sa isang source ka lang kumukuha ng impormasyon. I will repeat, hindi pwedeng sa isang source lang kumukuha ng impormasyon. Kailangan talaga we check everywhere for our information. And then beware of satirical accounts. Etong mga pages na ito, they already say that they are parody accounts, satirical pages. Talagang nandyan sila for entertainment, but sometimes with a message, with an agenda, but they are there for entertainment, for satire, for parody, at sinasabi na nila yan. Pero marami pa rin naloloko at marami pa rin naniniwala na totoo yung impormasyon nila at hindi comedy. No? Hanggang halimbawa, Cebu Daily News, The Philippine Char, may mga nag-share pa rin yan na akala nila totoong balita. So kailangan aware tayo sa mga ganyan. Next, very difficult to do, but we must do this. Call the attention of friends and family who share false information. Let them know. And there are many kind ways to do this. Hindi mo sila kailangan pahiyain, hindi mo sila kailangan awayin. And because you have read up, first tip, then pag kinorekt mo sila, magbigay ka na ng source na verified. So mas maniniwala sila, mas may chance na makinig sila sa'yo pag meron kang basihan o meron kang source ng iyong information. Okay? And lastly is to report. Like what I mentioned earlier, do not reshare, do not comment, do not give more traction or activity to fake news. Report nyo yan agad. So there are different ways to report it, different buttons there. Sa Facebook, yung 3 dots natin, pwede nyo pindutin, click report post, and then click the category which it falls under. So false information, ganyan. Okay, so meron tayong question dito. Is there a way po ba to find out who are behind those fake news? There are ways, no? There are also bodies investigating dito, no? But we can only do so much as regular citizens. So we really should not allow their business to function. So wag natin silang bigyan ng pagkakataon na magpakalat ng impormasyon. So yung mga pages na nagpapakalat ng obvious na fake news. Halimbawa, may nakita kayong shared fake news, puntahan niyo yung page na yon. Pag merong trend talaga na fake lahat ng share nila, automatic yan, fake news peddler yan. But it could be just a branch. It could be just one page out of the hundreds that they control. Like Twinmark Media Enterprises na nakita ninyo dun sa video kanina, ganun sila nag-operate. So sa anonymous nating attendee na nagtanong doon, yes, there are ways, but highly likely it is beyond our capacities as ordinary social media users. So the best thing that we can do is to take care of our use of social media, no? Dapat nag-iingat tayo sa kung anong nakikita natin. Hindi, mag-report tayo ng mag-report, huwag kayo magsawa mag-report ng maling impormasyon. And of course, lastly, take chances to share your fact-based knowledge with the genuine intention to make the internet a safer place. Kailangan talaga kinakalat natin yung mga natutunan natin today at yung mga natututunan pa natin sa ating everyday use of social media. Okay? So we really need to be careful, and more importantly, we really need to be choosy. Kailangan mapili tayo. Kung mapili tayo sa pagkain, kung mapili tayo sa damit, mapili tayo sa jojowain, dapat mapili rin tayo sa paniniwalaan. Because again, as what I mentioned earlier, social networks have become an extension of our bodies, of ourselves. And if we take care of how we use social media, then we are taking care of ourselves. Okay? Ayan. So thank you so much for listening to Dapat Choosy. Sana ay marami kayong natutunan. Oops, may pahabol na question. Sasagutin ko yan. What can the government do regarding this po? Pero para sa kaalaman din po ng lahat, may laws na po ba? To be perfectly honest, in terms of laws, I believe we only have surface level laws. No? We only have laws that protect pa rin with the same level as libel, no, for libelous claims, the privacy, a little help from our attorney in the audience, yung ating yung privacy, for our privacy, chat please. Yan, kailangan ko magbigay ng tamang impormasyon sa ating audience. Data Privacy Act, there you go. So there's the Data Privacy Act as well. It's already running, but it only protects us on the surface level. Pagka merong kumakalat pa rin na maling impormasyon, they still fall under the already existing laws, but none so much on social media usage and social media control. The SIM card Registration Act is posing that social media will also be monitored when you register our SIM cards, but it also poses danger and risk in us sharing our privacy as well, no? So yung ating mga details. So marami pa ring at pinag-iisipan pa rin ng ating mga lawmakers, kaya importante, mahalaga na mamili talaga tayo ng mga lawmakers, ng ating mga senators who are really credible and who really know how to make laws on this, who are knowledgeable with how technology works. Ayan. So to answer your question, the government is only doing so much in terms of surface level. There is definitely a huge room for improvement kahit sa ibang bansa. Ganun din ang problema, kaya talagang laganap ang fake news. So the bottom line is, tayo as consumers, tayo ang mag-filter para sa ating sarili. Okay, so ayan, maraming salamat po sa pakikinig sa Dapat Choosy. There is still one very quick session after this at pero bago tayo tumungo dyan ay pa-premyo muna. Okay, so meron tayong pa-GCash ulit. Kung kanina ay may quiz tayo, ngayon may quiz din ulit for Dapat Choosy. And again, this will give you a chance to win 200 pesos worth of GCash. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. Answer this statement or complete this statement. I can combat disinformation by blank. Uulitin ko, I can combat disinformation by blank. Makikita nyo rin po ito sa ating chat box, sa ating comment sections. Feel free to answer that. The best answers, not the first, the best will win 200 pesos worth ng GCash. Okay? At syempre, meron pa rin tayong photo contest na nagaganap ngayon. So naka 2 talks na kayo, marahil ay mas marami na kayong pwedeng makaption sa inyong photo na ipopost. And this will allow you to win 100 pesos worth naman of GCash. 3 sa inyo ang mapipili. All you have to do is post a photo on Facebook. I-public nyo yan para makita namin with the caption, sharing your learnings, and include the hashtag Pinas Forward GenLit. So you must like the Pinas Forward page, the Pinas Forward Facebook page, tag the page sa inyong post, and also kailangan makapag-evaluation kayo at ang evaluation form ay makikita ay bibigay namin sa inyo sa dulo ng ating programa. Public po ito and you have 11:59 p.m. until 11:59 p.m. to post your photos. Here are some examples of the entries that you can enter. Wow, entries that you can enter. Entries that you can post rather. So yan, no, may photo, may caption, ano ba yung natutunan ko mula kay Ate Shaira, mula kay Ate Kitin, at mula kay Kuya Bruno mamaya sa pangatlong session. And then hashtag Pinas Forward GenLit and tag Pinas Forward PH. Okay, so I hope marami kayong matutunan because of a little bit of technical difficulties earlier. I hope that you can still stay a bit because we still have a final session in store para sa inyong lahat. Hindi ko na patatagalin, papakilala ko na po sa inyo ang ating susunod na speaker. Nakilala nyo na, sa totoo lang, nakita nyo na at nagustuhan nyo pa nga ang buhok niya. Pero formally introducing him, isa po siyang graduate mula sa University of the Philippines, Universidad ng Pilipinas, at nakapagtapos ng Bachelor in Secondary Education at nagpalisensya para maging guro ng bayan. Hindi pa nagpaawa at bumalik muli para sa College of Law. So siya ngayon ay nagtitake ng kanyang law degree, no? Aspiring abogado ng bayan, continuing scholar ng bayan, magsasampung taon nang namamalagi sa Diliman. So ano siya? Suma, di ba? Sumasampung taon na. Pero ang dami niya ibig sabihing alam at ang dami na niyang natutunan na pwede niyang ibahagi sa inyo. Minsan, isa siyang paralegal, minsan researcher, minsan volunteer, minsan estudyante, madalas makasunog ng niluluto, madalas sumahalakhak sa memes at komedyante. Ordinaryong mamamayan lang po siya, pero lagit-lagi lahat ay para sa bayan. So we don't talk about him. No, but he certainly has a lot he wants to talk about. And he is part of Pinas Forward Academy now to talk about how to give the Philippines a glow up that it deserves. Say hello, say welcome back po to Kuya Bruno. Bruno, welcome back on screen. Bruno?
Hello. It's me. I've been here the whole time. No, so hello again, everyone. No, hello muli sa ating mga viewers on Zoom, on YouTube, on Facebook, at syempre sa mga kasama natin sa Radyo Totoo Facebook page kung saan naka-live stream pa rin tayo. So thank you so much, Ate Kits, for that wonderful introduction. No, sumasampung taon na ako dito pero hindi ko na patatagalin pa. Let's begin with our last module for this afternoon. So again, reminder that we do have quizzes and prizes in store for you. And the only way to win is by learning, and the only way to learn is by participating. And the only way to begin is by beginning. So without further ado, let's begin. No? Ngayon, pag-usapan natin kung paano ba naapektuhan ng mga choices natin yung mga bagay sa paligid natin, gaya ng pagpili natin ng leader. Pero bago tayo magsimula, I'm sure some of you might be wondering, what does choosing a good leader have to do with the term glow up? No, ano bang ibig sabihin ng glow up? Kapag nag-skincare routine ba tayo or nag-exercise, no? Makinis na ba kaagad yung mukha natin? Pumayat na ba kaagad tayo? Sabi ni John, no, it's character development. Alex has made changes. Yes, definitely made changes. No. For Suzanne, a good leader is a good listener. That's one thing you want to talk about later. Christy says it's transforming and improving. No? Ano ang glow up para sa inyo? Ano ba yung gusto nyo i-glow up sa sarili nyo? Let us know. No? But for this session, malalaman natin kung paano mapapag-glow up hindi lang ang ating sarili, kundi ang ating bayan. Pero, no, napakaraming mga pero at simula. No? Umpisahan natin. I'm sure no, by this time, by 4 p.m., whether lunch yan or late lunch or merienda ay nakakain na tayo. So sana hindi na kayo magutom pag nakita nyo tong picture na ito. Diba? So, yes, ang sarap. Ako, ang sarap-sarap ng mga ganitong handaan. No? Ang tanong, no, sa ating lahat ngayon, kunwari nasa handaan ka, ano yung pagkain na hindi mo maihindian pag sinabihan ka ng party host na ibalot mo na yan? Sabi nga natin, 'di ba? Balutin mo na 'yan. No, Shanghai, lumpia. Ang daming nagsasabi ng Shanghai. No, cake. Sabi ni Megan at kay Janela, chicken. No, maraming nagsasabi ng chicken at Shanghai. Lumpia lang sapat na, kare-kare. No, ang dami nating gustong ibalot, no? Now, no. Ngayong nagbalot na tayo, so imagine nyo nagbalot na kayo. Ngayon na kayong mga lumpiang naibul sa cake na naibul sa char. No, huwag niyo ibulsa yung cake, guys. No, don't try it at home. Pag-uwi mo, tinabi mo na yung pagkain sa ref. Kinabukasan, pagod na pagod ka na, ganun. No? Sa work mo or sa academics mo, tapos gutom na gutom ka pa. And then you remember, meron kang binulsa na Shanghai, gano'n. Meron kang cake na binalot sa plastic bago ibulsa. No? Galing sa handaan kahapon. At nilagay mo sa ref dahil syempre, no, kahit hindi nagtatagal kahit meron tayong 5 seconds para hindi madumihan ang mga pagkain natin, kailangan kung 5 hours pataas, nasa ref yan. So, niref mo yon at kinuha mo yung nakita mong pagkain sa loob, ano yung gagawin mo ngayon sa pagkain na yon? Gutom na gutom ka na. No? Think about that. Ano yung gagawin nyo ngayon na gutom na kayo? Siyempre, iinitin muna ulit. Hygiene, diba? No? Food hygiene. No? Let's be sanitary when we eat food. Tamang-tama yan. Simone, VJ, Miss Lopez at Alex. No? Microwave, galing kay Lily Allison. And after iinitin, anong susunod natin gagawin? Kakainin. Siyempre, lang nga naman ininit lang natin, papalamigin natin ulit, diba? Thanks, God. Ayan, mag-pray muna, sabi ni Kimpa. Pray. Huwag kalimutan, mag-pray. No? Now, kakainin mo na nga siya. No? At para sa pagkain mo, no, para maganda yung view mo habang kumakain ka, merong simoy ng hangin, lumabas ka. No? Punta ka sa may tapat ng bahay mo, kung may porch ka, edi wow, ikaw na. Diba? Ililipat sa plate, tama nga naman, Megan. No? Prepare ng sausawan kung merong kailangan. No? But now, diba? At kukuha ng kanin. Yes. But now, isipin natin na nasa labas na tayo, no? Enjoying the scenic view, yung magandang simoy ng hangin, and we're about to tuck in sa pagkain natin. No? Pero biglang may lumapit sa ating pulubi na mas matapang pa sa nanay mo at sabi niya, gutom na ako, pahingi naman yan. Anong gagawin mo? Lumapit siya sa inyo. Lumapit yung pulubi. Anong gagawin mo ngayon? meron ka lang plato ng pagkain, no? Yung plato na yun, nung tira galing sa party. And it's your favorite. Sabi ni Catherine, hahatian na lang, no? And VJ, no? Tama, bibigyan, sabi ni Aliyah. No? 50-50 pa eh, di ba? Baka diwata. Tama, ano, John Art, no? Baka mamaya yung sports car natin, mahati pa kung kalahati lang ibigay natin, di ba? So, paano naman kung hindi siya pulubi, kundi yung diwata ng buhay nyo. Ayan. O, diwatang kay ganda. Di ba? Yung crush niyo yung lumapit sa inyo, nagutom na gutom. Sabi ni Daniel, sa'yo na po. Sabi ni, no? Sabi ni, lalayo na lang ako. Sabi ni Daniel, grabe naman yan. Bibigay ko. Mabigay agad with itlog na maalat pa as side dish. Wow naman, what a chef, meron pang pa-side dish. No? Paano naman? No? Kung yung mga tsaka sa buhay natin yung lumapit sa atin. Paano kung yung pinaka-kinaiinisan mong tao sa buong mundo yung nakita mong gutom na gutom? No? Anong gagawin mo? Boyfriend niya daw ni Maurice. Ngayon, lahat ako magbigay, sabi ni Mark, na share food pa rin, sabi ni Lian. Sabi ni John Art, magluto ka, wag kang ano dito. Oo nga naman. Kiss na, sabi ni Alex. At sabi ni Lian, magtiis ka. Pero may char. No, may char. I'll eat it all to myself. No? Now, let's think about that exercise for a minute. What led you into coming up with your decision? No, whether or not nag-share ka ng pagkain sa iba, no? Sabi nga ni Miko, sino ka ba? Diba? Whether or not nag-share ka ng pagkain sa iba, no? Whether yung pulubi o yung crush mo o yung pinakaayaw mo, no? What led to you coming up with that decision? Sabihin niyo nga sa akin, bakit naman hindi kayo nag-share? Bakit naman kayo nag-share? No? Nagbago ba yung decision ninyo? Depende sa sitwasyon at sa mga tao na pinakita ko kanina. And of course, yan, assessment of your morals, sabi ni Art. Part ng morals ni Art ay bahala na yung kaaway niya. Morals mo yan. Diba? Carry lang. Diba? Sa tingin niyo ba, no? Naging mas mabait kayo o mas naging masama kayo nung nag-share kayo? Relationship, sabi ni Allison. Yeah, it's a good thing to do, sabi ni Aliyah. So, naging mas mabait siya, no? Feeling niya nung nag-share siya sa mga taong pinakita natin sa kanya. No? So, ano man yung mga naging answers ninyo? No? Wala namang tama o mali. Diba? So, kasi kung ano man yung decision ninyo, meron niyang pinaghuhugutan. Diba? Sabi nga ng isang popular coffee ad, no? Para kanino ka bumabangon? Tanananan. Dahil may mga factors na nakakaapekto sa mga desisyon natin. Diba? At ano ba yung mga factors na yan? Let me show you now. No? So may 4 na pangunahing bagay na nakakapag-motivate sa pagdesisyon natin. Ito ay ang feels, gains, status, and ways. No? Now, isa-isahin natin tong 4 na to. When we say feels, no, hindi lang to yung right in the feels. No? Hindi lang to yung sinasabi natin na, no, I feel it, ganun. But it talks about pleasure. No? Ito yung tumutukoy sa sense of fulfillment natin, yung mga bagay na nagbibigay sa atin ng saya. No? So, pwedeng gumawa tayo ng decisions natin dahil magaan sa pakaramdam na gawin to, no? Komportable tayong gawin to, nakapagpasaya sa atin ito, or exciting to, di ba? Or rather, opposite, no? Para hindi tayo mag-guilty. No? Kasi mahirap yung guilty, mabigat yan, di ba? So, for example, nung nagbigay tayo ng pagkain sa pulubi kanina, 'di ba? It feels good when we do the right thing. For some of us, some of us naman, syempre, magigilty tayo na kita mo gutom-gutom, no? Tapos, mas malala yung kalagayan niya kaysa sa'yo, di ba? So, para hindi ka mag-guilt, no? What you do is, nagbigay ka. And sometimes, no, for the rest of our things, no, whether it's choosing the course that we want to take, no, or picking the people we want to be in a relationship with, people who want to be close with, naiisip natin, di ba, kung masaya ba tayo pag ito yung kasama nating tao? Masaya ba tayo kung ano yung course na, kung ito yung course na i-take natin? So, when your motto is living life to the fullest, no, maaring motivated yung decision making mo by feels. Now, let's go next to gains. No? Gains talks about payoff. Ito yung mga bagay na ginagawa natin dahil may kapalit o kabayaran. Kung mayroon tayong makukuha from it. No? So dito binibilang natin or kina-quantify natin yung mga bagay na maka-affect sa decision making natin. So iniisip natin, for example, ano yung matatanggap natin? Ano yung makukuha natin? Sulit ba if we make this kind of choice? No? One thing, for example, nung college ako, meron kami tinatawag na calculated risk taking. Don't try this at home, kids. Pero minsan, limited yung time. No? Tapos, ang gagawin namin, mag-focus kami on one requirement instead of the other. Yun yung ikakram namin, nahabulin namin. Kasi yung isa, ito yung mas malaki yung weight. Diba? Ito yung mas malaki yung part sa grades. No? So may ganong mga bagay na ginagawa natin. Minsan din, no, when we do good to other people, we do that with the hopes na they do good to us back. No? So yun doon nanggagaling yung konsepto ng utang na loob na meron sa kulturang Pilipino. Nakaugat yun sa konsepto ng give and take o yung may kabayaran. Now, third, we have status. No? Status means prestige. No? Ito yung mga bagay na nakaugnay sa pangalan natin, sa estado natin sa buhay, o kaya yung mga privilege na makukuha natin. So, when we are motivated by status, we make our decisions based sa ikakaangat ng tingin sa atin o ikaka-proud sa atin ng iba o sa ikaka-solidify ng credibility natin, yung reputation natin. So, for example, baka yung marami sa atin, no, mga naging biktima na o mga naimbira na ng mga marites. Pero bakit nga ba nila ginagawa yun? Diba? Kung sino yung updated sa chika, kung sino yung may balita, sila yung nilalapitan kagad ng tao, parang, oy, Mars, anong chika? Diba? Doon pumapasok yung motivation na yun. No? Or, nag-aaral tayo ng mabuti para graduate tayo at maihahon yung pamilya natin sa kahirapan para masabi natin na, okay, I'm gonna get this title, Bachelor of, insert that, or licensed, insert profession here, diba? Yun yung mga dahilan kung bakit tayo kumukuha na sa or para maging proud yung pamilya natin sa atin. No? Gagalingan ko para maging proud yung nanay at tatay ko sa akin. That's status. No? And lastly, we have ways. No? Ways concerns productivity. Ito yung tumutukoy sa kung paano natin ginagawa yung mga bagay-bagay. No? So kung gusto ba natin na mapadali yung buhay natin or feeling natin ano yung reliable na nagawa na before, yun yung susundan natin. Yung tried and tested. So dito natin nalalaman kung tayo ba ay progressive or trailblazer or traditionalist. Nothing wrong with either of the two. Diba? Dito rin, pumapasok yung konsepto ng working hard or working smart. No? Some people, they work hard because they feel na incremental in development. No? That's better for them. Some people, they work smart. No? They take shortcuts or they apply life hacks kasi feel nila, no, mas gusto nila yun kasi mas efficient para sa time and energy nila. So yung apat na yun, again, diba? Feels, gains, status, ways. Ito yung apat na main motivators kung saan nakadepende yung decision making natin. So gaya ng sitwasyon kanina, kaya ba natin shinare yung pagkain dahil feeling natin, no, masarap makatulong sa ibang tao, it feels good, no? Makes us happy, or gusto ba natin na in later on, no, suklian yung binigay nating pagkain ng sa crush natin ng onting paglambing pabalik ni crush. Crush back mo naman ako, crush. Kung binigay ko yung Shanghai ko sa'yo. 'Di ba? Or gusto natin na may makakita sa atin, they feel, for example, tinong nagpulubi kasi nakita tayo ni crush. Di ba? Or nakakita ko ng mga kapitbahay, mga kamag-anak ko, and gusto ko na ma-proud sila sa akin. Ganun. Or baka iniisip natin na that's the efficient way of making sure that people are not hungry. No? As less hungry people as possible, more productive ways. Diba? Ano man yan, part yan ng pagkatao natin. No? Meron tayong pinaghugutan ng mga para sa decisions natin na ginagawa natin sa buhay. And that, of course, is also applicable sa pagpili natin ng leader this coming May. Yes, ito na. Dito na papasok yung choosing a good leader part. No? Ano ba yung pinaghuhugutan mo when you chose the leader you want to choose? No? Yung kinuha nyo ngayon. Diba? Kung sino, may napipisil na kayo. Or kung wala pa kayong napipisil, ano yung nagmo-motivate sa inyo? Diba? Gusto mo bang mag-blow up ang bansa? Kaya ka pumipili ng leader with a good track record, no, or grounded sa mabubuting values? Or dahil you like this person, you identify with them, kaya solid fan ka ng kandidato na yun. Dapat pag-isipan natin kung ano yung motibo natin at kung paano to makakaapekto hindi lang sa atin, kundi sa bayan natin in the long run. Kaya nga glow up, 'di ba? Kanina sabi natin there are changes, no? Kasi gusto natin lasting yung change, yung development na makuha natin. Sa tanong ni Brian, no, when is the best time where you had to convince someone else of your point of view? For me, when's the best time? Tinatimingan ko yan kasi nga meron tayong feels, gain, status, and ways. No? Ako, I think about the feels a lot of times. So kung medyo bad mood na yung tao, for example, mainit na yung ulo niya, sometimes I choose a later time when they're a bit more comfortable na, when they're a bit more stable. That's when I talk to them about perhaps an alternative, diba? Or sometimes it's not really about timing, but it's about our expression, no? We choose our words carefully. Choosing pa rin, diba? So remember what you choose, how you choose, no? So yung ganong pag-choose natin, for example, ng words natin, it concerns ways, di ba? Kasi feeling natin ito yung pinaka-productive na way na mag-convince ng tao. No? So apply natin kaagad yung mga decision making natin. No? Again, pag-isipan natin kung ano yung motibo natin. No? Reflection time again. No? Meron tayong kasabihan, our decisions reflect what we truly want. Agree ba kayo? Agree ba kayo sa statement to, our decisions reflect what we truly want? Kasi kahit sabihin pa natin ginagawa natin yung mga bagay dahil kailangan silang gawin, of course, for example, or requirements, or bumili tayo ng isang bagay dahil based din sa needs natin, o kaya feeling natin na iipit tayo, no choice na tayo, kaya pinili natin yung choice na yun. The truth is, decisions are done out of our will, and it's something we can control. We can be conscious of this. At maaaring ito yung mga bagay na ginusto natin. No? Meron tayong kasabihan din that even not choosing is a choice. No? Not choosing among the options is still an option. Diba? So let's be mindful of how we decide. And let's consider all of it carefully talaga. So siguro kaya nga sinasabihan tayo palagi na huwag mo lang isa o dalawang beses pag-isipan yung mga bagay-bagay. Isipin din natin na yun. Yung mga leader na pinipili at tinitingala natin, yun ba yung talagang gusto natin para sa bayan? O nadala lang ba tayo ng mga appealing, no, sa feels natin or sa gains or status natin? Nakita natin sa internet, sa mga fanbase or supporters nila o sa mga unofficial na survey. And with that, no, let's enter another activity. So Pinasketeers, this is an emoji poll activity. What we're gonna do here is to type in the chat kung ano yung emoji na nagko-correspond sa gusto nating option. No? Napakasimple lang, no? At napakasimple lang din naman ng mga emoji na pipiliin nyo. Hindi naman namin kayo papaghalokayin ng emoji sa phone ninyo or sa laptop ninyo. So now, let's go. Our first question. No? Lechon Cebu, lumpiang Shanghai platter, or a sack of rice. No? Alin ang gusto nyo dito? Heart for lechon, party popper for Shanghai, or thumbs up like, no, for our sack of rice. I'm seeing hearts. I'm seeing thumbs ups, hearts, no, likes, no. Hati ang ating floor ngayong araw na to. Rice is life, sabi ni Alexandra, at sabi niya din heart, lechon, no. Maraming nag-heart at nagla-like. No. Next, no, we have something a bit more serious. Someone sent us a petition to have a Dolomite Beach in Bato Bay. No? Kami po ay nagkalap ng 12,000 signatures para sa beautification project ng Bato Bay. Nais po naming madagdagan ang turismo at livelihood ng lugar. Gusto rin po namin na maging pasyalan ang nasabing lugar. No? When we think about this, no, alalahanin din natin yung Dolomite Beach na nangyari in the recent past. Like for example, Manila Bay. No? So, given that, are you gonna approve this petition or are you gonna reject this petition? I'm seeing a lot of hearts here. No, heart for approve, haha for reject. I'm seeing a lot of hearts. Okay, no, I'm seeing some hahas. No, I'm seeing hearts, lots of hearts, plenty of hearts. A few hahas, but mainly dominated by hearts. Okay, mukhang ito ang pulso ng ating bayang Pinas forwarders. No? Now, let's move on to the next. No? We are at the start, no, of the new government, which should be the top priority, no, among these policy thrusts: equality, disaster relief operations, or education. No? Heart for equality, like for disaster relief, clap for education. I'm seeing a lot of claps, and likes. May onting like, no? Claps and a heart, a few hearts here, ganon. But mainly claps, no? Education, sabi ni Joseph. No? Brian says, education is a must. No? All right. I heard you guys. I heard you. And now, let me hear you for question number 4. No. So among these candidates, which candidate would you support? Leo Gallardo here has a good track record and he's known for his partner who is loved by the people. Hashtag youth is the future. No. Gigi Mondragon, on the other hand, is brave, known for her powerful political party and family. Hashtag make PH great again. And lastly, we have Erwin Manalo, who is very charitable and known for his talents and charisma. His hashtag is rags to riches. No, like for Leo, clap for Gigi, heart for Erwin. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs ups, no? A few claps, a few hearts there, no? But a lot of thumbs ups. Odd, okay? May mga claps, no? Medyo mahabol ang claps, but there's still a lot of thumbs ups. No? Mukhang iyon ang majority sa atin. Now, let's think about what we just did. Sometimes, no? Again, walang tama o mali sa mga naging desisyon ninyo. No? We all come from our certain backgrounds, our certain viewpoints. Tulad nga sabi ni Ate Kits kanina, we have our own biases. We can have our own biases. Because that's where we come from. Diba? Sometimes we can afford to make certain decisions because of our privilege. No? So for example, yung mga pumili ng lechon kanina, baka mamaya, marami naman na kayong bigas, marami na kayong kanin sa bahay niyo. So because we have enough of that, it's of less value to us. So sa lahat ng bagay, let's be aware of our privilege at i-consider natin kung ano yung effect ng decisions natin sa mga taong less privileged. To the people who have less options. Kasi nga, wala namang tama at maling sagot. But, no, it all depends from where we come from, no? What we've experienced, or kung ano yung mga problema na hinaharap ng respective communities natin. What matters is how you reach a decision. And when you reach a decision, how much do you consider others in your decision making? No? Isipin natin yan. Again, for example, yung petition for the Dolomite Beach, diba? It's not just the 12,000 signatories. It's not even just us here na nag-participate sa game. No? It's a very real thing that could happen and that could impact not just people but the environment. For example, the Dolomite Beach, while it may have provided an attraction for some of our citizens in Manila, it also affected yung environment, 'di ba? Yung Dolomite cast-offs nakaapekto sa marine life, no? Nawalan ng mga puno doon, so 'di ba? Nawala rin yung storm buffer ng Manila Bay. So we mentioned how we must always think of others when we decide, but giving the people what they want is not always the best choice. There's a fine line between what people want and what people need. And not in all cases do people know what they really need. This also applies to our decision as voters. Not in all cases is the majority's vote the best choice. So let's think about what people want as opposed to what people need. Now, what we have to do is practice empathy. According to Dr. and psychologist Alfred Adler, empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. In short, reflect tayo doon, seeing, listening, feeling. Empathy is putting yourselves in the shoes of others, not to be swayed by what they want, but instead, see where they're coming from and see what they really need. Kaya tinawag tayo Pinaskiteers, kanina pangalan yung activity natin, Pinaskiteers, kasi we're all for one and one for all. Tayong lahat patungo sa isang mas magandang kinabukasan, isang boto para sa sarili, para sa ating kapwa, para sa ating bayan. A good choice, let's remember, and remember this, take good note of this. Lalabas to mamaya. A good choice is made with empathy. So, now that we know that the power to make choices is also the power to create impact, alalahanan natin that our actions create a ripple effect. And you must know that the greatest, most impactful choice we are called to make today, in the coming days, is choosing our next leader, the leader of our country, because that will affect every aspect of our lives. Kahit mismo kanina, pinapili ko kayo ng mga pagkain, kahit yung pagkain na yun will be decided by the next leader. Kung ano yung available, kung magkano sila, kung saan tayo pwedeng pumunta, kung makakalabas ba tayo para makakain. Diba? The laws and bills that will be approved, the issues that will be given priority. Kaya, that will be for 6 years, itong mangyayari sa atin. One choice affecting all other choices. So pag-usapan natin, ano ba yung dapat natin hanapin sa isang Pinuno bilang Pinaskiteer? Diba, all for one and one for all tayo. So syempre, ang gusto nating leader, yung Pinaskiteer din. Diba? Agree, Megan, let us not be fanatics. Now, what do we have then, no, to look for in a leader who is a Pinasketeer? Gaya ng nabanggit natin kanina, ang pinunong Pinasketeer ay may principle na all for one and one for all. Dahil siya ay may tunay na pag-ibig at pagpapahalaga sa kanyang sarili, kapwa at bayan. At mihahalin tulad natin to sa pinuno na tinutukoy ni Emilio Jacinto, no, ang utak ng katipunan sa kanyang pagninilay, sa kanyang reflections. No? So ano nga ba yung reflections na yun? You see here, there's an image of a tree. That's exactly about it. It's a tree. No? Para kay Jacinto, ang katangihan ng isang pinuno ay comparable sa root word, no, na puno. No? And when we say root word, no, yung puno, yun yung bahagi ng kahoy na nag-iisa, no? Nagbubuklod sa mga sanga sa itaas, no, at sa mga ugat sa ibaba. So in other words, tulad ng isang puno, no, ang isang pinuno, ang siya ring nagbubuklod, nagtitipon ng mga malaugat at sanga-sangang pananaw, layunin, pangarap at pangangailangan, not leaving anyone behind, diba? Including everyone in their decision. Ikalawa, ayon kay Jacinto, ang salitang puno ay galing sa salitang pon ng mga Kapampangan at poon ng mga Ilocano at Tagalog na siya namang pinanggalingan ng salitang poon, poong may kapal at Panginoon. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nito na sasambahin natin yung mga pinuno o titingalain natin sila na parang Diyos na natin. Diba? Hindi tayo ganon. Sabi nga kanina, no, ni, what do you call this? No? Megan, no, let us not be fanatics. Rather, no, ang pinuno ay may responsibility na mag-reflect ng characteristics ng Diyos. Anong characteristics yun? Yun yung pagiging tagapagbigay ng biyaya sa isang pamayanan at yung pagpuno, no, sa mga pangangailangan nating lahat bilang isang lipunan. Now, kailangan ang isang pinunong Pinasketeer, no, ay kayang punuin ang kanyang sarili upang magpuno ng kanyang kapwa at bayan. Binayayaan sila, no, upang magbigay ng biyaya sa iba. So dapat maibigay yung biyaya na yon para makapag-glow up ang ating bansa. Hanapin natin yung mga leader o yung mga tao na may tunay na pagmamahal sa kapwa. Hindi yung pinagtatakpan yung kamamalian, no, or nabubuhay sa kasinungalingan, kundi yung nagre-represent ng katotohanan, no, yung nagli-lead ng matiwasay at kayang tuparin yung kanyang mga plataforma, yung kanyang mga plano na maghahatid sa atin ng tunay na glow up ng bansa. Ang tunay na glow up ay hindi lang based, no, sa outer appearance. Ito ay nanggagaling from within at nag-i-improve ng quality, no, sa lahat ng aspect ng ating buhay, no, sa lahat ng mga buhay. Dahil kung isa ka lang, 'di ba? Or sa isa ka lang naka-focus, hindi totoo yung blow up na ginagawa mo, 'di ba? For example, when you just work on your clothing, no, yun lang yung ginawa mo. That's not a glow up. That's an OOTD. 'Di ba? Iba yung term natin doon. 'Di ba? When we say glow up, it's holistic. No? At kung hindi holistic yung ginagawa mo, hindi siya makakatulong in the long run. At kailangan, babalik lang ulit tayo sa umpisa. No? Anong example ng ganyang mga hindi tunay na glow up sa ating lipunan? No? For example, itong open pit mining. When we choose a leader na hindi competent, no? Dahil nag-base tayo sa misinformation or fake news, malaki yung magiging implication nito sa atin. Maaaring sa ilang buwan o taon lang, for example, itong open pit mining, it looks good, no? It looks good on paper, yung income na dinadala niya sa bansa natin. Pero hindi naman sustainable. Again, mining, no? After you mine something, wala ka nang ima-mine after, di ba? Nakuha mo na eh. Diba? Sinasabi nila na ikakaangat na ekonomiya natin ng open pit mining. Pero panandalian lamang ito, kaya nagiging band-aid solution lang siya. In fact, mas malala yung kapalit niya. For example, yung environmental damage na gagawin nito, yung pagkakalbo ng mga bundok natin, yung pagkasira ng lupa natin, would take decades or even centuries para lang bumalik sa dati. Baka wala na tayo dito sa mundo, pagbabayaran pa rin yung onting gain na nakuha sa open pit mining. Di ba? At isa pang example, di ba, yung mga community, yung mga tao, yung mga pamayanan na nandito na dinisplace dahil ginawan ng mining operation. Diba? Ito ay example ng fake blow up dahil umangat yung quality of life no, para sa mga kumita dito. Umangat yung itsura natin on paper for a short while, pero napag-iwanan naman tayo lahat no, later on. Napag-iwanan lalo yung mga naninirahan sa lugar na ito. At speaking of pag-iiwanan, no, marami pa rin na pag-iiwanan sa ating lipunan. Ang tunay na glow up ay dapat ramdam ng lahat, hindi lang, again, ng isang grupo. Di tulad ng paglaki ng agwat no, sa mayaman at mahirap sa ating bansa. 23.7% of our population no, ay may income na hindi sasapat para matugunan ang basic needs. Ano ba yung income para sa basic needs na yun? Ayon sa NEDA, 42,000 pesos per month ang kailangan para ma-consider na above the poverty line. Ang layo nito sa 300 to 537 pesos na daily minimum wage ng typical na manggagawa. So paano na lang ito ma-address ng leader na hindi competent? Diba? Merong mga politiko dyan na milyonaryo o bilyonaryo dahil nakakuha sila no, sa ating kaban ng bayan. Meron naman, at all of this while our people are suffering. Ilan yan sa mga nagiging fake blow up ng bansa dahil sa mga pangako na napako ng ilang mga politiko. So, minsan sa mga naranasan natin, lalo na sa talamak na corruption nga, no, yung pagpo-profit sa ating mga taxpayer, sa ating mga mamayan, napapaisip tayo, paano na lang kung wala tayong tunay na pinuno o pinaskitir? Meron ba talagang ganon, pinuno pinaskitir, o idea lang siya? Ano yun? No? Is it just for us to choose the lesser evil? Or dahil wala namang magandang pagpipilian, mag-abstain na lang tayo? Actually, the election doesn't work that way. No? Even if 50% or even 70% of the people don't turn out, as long as people turn out at merong mabibilang na pinakamataas na boto, yun pa rin yung magiging pinuno natin. And in fact, no, meron talagang mga pinunong pinaskitir. No? Kahit may mga corrupt at incompetent na leader na politiko at napakarami nila, I'm sure na nabalitaan nyo na yung mga ganyan, hindi naman lahat ay masamang tinapay. Depende yon sa mga pinipili nating leaders, no? At maaari nilang mabagyan ng magandang glow up yung community natin. Meron ding tayong mga tinatawag na cream of the crop. Anong mga example natin to? For one, we have Jesse Robredo. No? The late Jesse Robredo ay nakilala sa Chinelas leadership nung siya ay mayor ng Naga City. So kilala din siya no, sa pag-communicate sa masa. Kilala siya sa Chinelas leadership na tinawag na Chinelas dahil siya yung tipo na lulusong sa baha ng nakachinelas lang para tumulong sa mga nasalanta. O kaya yung tipong maglalakad hanggang sa pinakamalayong lugar para maabot yung mga tao. Hindi siya limitado sa mga lugar kung saan nakasapatos lang mga tao, 'di ba? And of course, even outside of politics ay merong competent leaders. Gaya ni Roberto Balyon, no? Na isang mangingisda mula sa Zamboanga, Sibugay. Nakatanggap siya ng Ramon Magsaysay Award dahil tumulong siya sa kapwa niya mangingisda na bumangon sa industriya sa pamamagitan ng sustainable marine environment na makakatulong na din no, sa susunod pang generations ng mga mangingisda at mamamayan sa lugar. And lastly, no, hindi lang yung mga kalalakihan no, ang may kakayahang maging mabuting leader, kundi pati na rin ang mga kababaihan at guro. No? Gaya ni Dr. Dorothy Tarol. No? Siya ay nakatanggap ng MBFI Outstanding Filipino Teacher Award noong 2019. Nanggaling siya sa Iloilo and co-founder siya ng Association of Late Deaf, Hard of Hearing for Education, Advocacy, Research and Support, or ALHEARS, which is an organization that advocates for equal opportunities para sa ating mga PWD. Bukod pa dyan, inintroduce niya yung body-mediated instruction sa pagturo ng pagbabasa sa mga indigenous learners at sa mga persons deprived of liberty, yung mga katutubo natin at yung mga preso natin. At sa kabila ng mga lahat ng initiative na to, nanunukulan pa rin siya bilang SPED teacher at guidance counselor sa Iloilo. So masasabi natin na wala naman talagang lesser evil na notion because there are good leaders. We should choose our leaders based on what matters to us. For Megan, that's transparency and credibility. For Alex Cartilla, that's pinunong may malasakit sa kapwa. So when we choose those leaders who value that same, who share that same values, that's a good leader, diba? Our role, of course, as well in choosing those leaders doesn't end with just putting them to the vote, doesn't end with just supporting them at one point, but instead it's a constant task and it's not limited to elections. We choose our leaders every day, And how do we choose our leaders every day? We choose them by how they do things. So when they promise a platform and they win a position, we hold them accountable to that promise every single day. So makikita natin yan sa actions nila later after their platforms. Hindi tayo magiging panatiko sa kanila. Sabi nga ni Megan. Thank you again, Megan. Instead, pag nakikita natin na may mali, sisitahin natin, di ba? Sabihin natin na yung leadership mo, baguhin mo, di ba? That is not what we want, di ba? Kung may mabuting ginawa on the other hand, i-compliment natin sila, i-encourage natin yung leaders natin to continue that path. So, let's boil it all down to this. Our leaders should have a care package. Ito yung common traits ng mabubuti at competent leaders na makakapag-blow up ng ating bansa. Sila yung biniyayaan o yung pinuno yung kanilang mga sarili ng tamang skills and values. At pinupuno rin nila yung mga kapwa at bayan sa kanilang mga industriya, sa kanilang mga field. In other words, nag-glow up sila at naging instrument din sila sa pag-glow up ng iba. At, diba, isipin natin ngayon ang care package. Sino sa inyo yung mga nakatanggap na ng care package? Sino? Ako, nakatanggap na ako ng care package before. It held a lot of things. So, nandun yung favorite kong pagkain, yung favorite kong snacks, nandun yung gamot ko kasi madalas ako magkaroon ng migraine, for example. So, naglagay sila ng ganong mga gamot. And also, mga bagay na makapagsaya sa akin. Nagbigay sila ng malit na mga playlist. Ganun. Yun yung mga nakuha ang care package before. When I was taking the exam, ganun. And you guys, maybe you've gotten a care package yourselves. Kanina nyo nakuha yung care package na yun. Message nyo lang dito. Ano ba mga laman ng care package ng mga nakuha ninyo? But, as we think about, kung as we remember yung care packages na nakuha natin, hindi ba, again, as I said, ang daming laman yun. Di ba all-in-one na yun? Later on, we're going to show, we're going to proceed to another activity, where I'll show some emojis at hulaan nyo kung ano yung characteristics, yung part ng care package na hinahanap natin ibigay sa atin ng pinunong Nasketeer. Sabi ni Mark Angelo ko, he said, money yung laman ng kanyang care package. From Oxfam Pilipinas Raffle, Michelle got groceries and humidifier. Wow, very nice yan, Michelle. Gusto ko rin ng humidifier at groceries. Thank Oxfam Pilipinas, baka naman. But now, post message nyo kung ano yung care package na yan. Let's go to the care package that we're looking for. Now, guess again the word that these emojis represent. So, now let's go. CARE is an acronym, actually, guys. So, now we go to letter C. Ang emoji natin dyan ay flexed arm, thumbs up, and clap. Fill in the blanks. Tell us, what characteristic is this? What trait is this that we have to look for in a leader? Dali. Let's go. Competitive, sabi ni Alex. No? We're getting there. Josiah says competence. No? Anyone else? No? Any takers? No? Competence again says Nina. No? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else has a guess? No? Courage, sabi ni Maria. Competitive again, sabi ni VJ. Shane Harry says competence. Kyra and Daniela also. No? Glessy, Megan, competence. You know what, guys? You're right. No? Plus points to all of you. Competence is our first point. No? So, ito yung kakayahan ng isang tao. For example, when we look for people to join our group, 'di ba? Sa isang group activity, no? Hinahanap natin yung mga tao na magaling, 'di ba? For example, kung pipili tayo sa group natin para sa isang presentation na magiging presenter, 'di ba pipiliin natin yung magaling magsalita, yung magaling manlambing ng mga teacher natin o ng mga classmate natin. Yes, OMG, VJ, that's right. No? So i-reflect natin. Yung mga tinitingalaban natin ng mga pinuno, meron ba silang sapat na karanasan sa pamumuno? No? Meron ba silang magandang track record ng mga nagawa? Sila ba ay merong mga platform na hindi band-aid solution lang, but instead long-term, no? At may concrete na mga pangako, no? Enough details para makita natin kung ano magiging itsura ng platform nila. Mapapag-glow up ba nila ang bansa? So gaya na pinag-usapan natin kanina, sila ba ay pupuno ng sarili, kapwa at bayan? Sila ba ay may kakayahan na unahin yung kapakanan at pangangailangan ng kanilang mga kapwa at yung kanilang mga constituent kaysa sa mga sarili nilang agenda? Let's think on that. No? But as we reflect also on that point, let's move on to our next word. Now, we have here a word that starts with A, with A stands for ice, yun. Char, hindi. Ice, people up, and people who are raising the roof. No, accountability, 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 accountability. I've seen a lot of accountability, and in fact, again, you are right. No, accountability ang second natin. So ito yung kakayahang tanggapin yung kamalian at maging responsible sa sarili nating actions at kanyang mga kamiyembro. So for example, balik tayo sa group presentation natin, mga classmate, no? So imbes na isisi natin sa iba, pag nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakamali, inaako natin to, no? Tapos sasabihin natin sa group mates natin, my bad guys, bawi ako. And then you offer a solution. For example, you missed out on contributing dun sa slides, pero kaya mo namang mag-discuss, di ba? Sabihin mo, ako na lang yung presenter, di ba? So, ito rin ba, no? Siyempre, we're looking for group mates na accountable din. Sa leader natin, hanapin din natin yon, di ba? Yung leader na pinipili natin, yun ba yung kayang panagutan yung kanilang mga desisyon, yung mga naging action nila sa kanilang kapwa at bayan? Sila ba yung nagli-lead sa inyo sa katotohanan dahil sila mismo ay nagsasabi ng totoo? Lalo na sa panahon ngayon na napapaligiran tayo ng misinformation tsaka mga cover-up. No? Napakahalaga ng accountability. Very crucial ito. No? So ito bang mga nilolook up natin? Sila ba tinuturuan din tayo maging accountable? Model ba sila ng kabutihan at kabutihan lalo na kahit walang nakakakita? O pakitaan lang ba to? Pakitang gilas lang ba? For show lang ba ang ating mga piniling pinuno? Now, let's move on to our next word. No? So, people holding hands, no? Leaning on each other, and hearts. Nako, bumuhos ka agad. Reliability. No? You guys are right again. No? Grabe, ang galing ng Pinas forwarders natin ngayon dito. So, ibig sabihin ng reliability ay yung taong mapagkakatiwalaan natin at masasandalan. For example, no, balik tayo classmates sa activity natin. No, nangailangan yung kaklase ninyo ng tulong. No? Bilang reliable na tao, reply ka kaagad. Diba? Tapos sabihin mo kagad, ito yung kailangan mo. Diba? Or kung hindi mo kayang tugunan yung need nila, sabihin mo, ito si ganito, alam yan siguro. PM mo siya. Diba? So, yung leader nyo rin ba ay kayang mag-deliver ng sabi nilang ide-deliver nila at pinangako nila sa atin? No? When they say something that they're gonna do, are they delivering it? Or napapako lang? Diba? Kung nilapitan ba natin sila para sa tulong, bibigay nila sa atin yung tamang tulong, yung hinahanap natin. And when we say being reliable, it's not just about helping, no? And it's just not about themselves, no, but the people they choose, no. Are they reliable when in making choices, no? Yung mga pinili nilang kasama nila, magandang influence ba sila sa mga pinuno natin? O yung mga mismong pinipili ng pinuno natin, no? Mapagkakatiwalaan din ba sila o may magandang track record, no? Meron ba silang magandang teamwork at nakita to sa mga projects na ginawa nila before? O yung ginagamit ba nila yung position nila para mag-take advantage, no? At mapalaki yung privilege nila, no? Tulad ng exemption sa mga batas. Hindi lang din sa mga kaibigan natin nakikita yung reliability ng isang tao, kundi kung paano natin tratatuhin yung mga kaaway natin, diba? So yung leader ninyo, are they reliable enough to handle criticism? No? Pinapakinggan ba nila yon at sinusubukang alamin yung pananaw ng kabila? O dinismiss lang ba nila? No? Parang kung ano yung gusto ko, yun na lang yung mangyayari. Now, last but not the least, we have our fourth. So here we have eyes, ears, and hearts. Empathy. That's right. Kuha natin kaagad. Sabi nila, again, ang empathy ang pinakamataas na form of knowledge dahil, git nga kanina ni Alfred Adler, empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. So ito yung kakayahan nating ilagay yung sarili natin sa situation ng iba. So for example, nalaman mo na yung groupmate mo. Groupmate na naman, no? Classmates talaga tayo. Nakita natin yung friend natin, no? They're having a bad time, no? Are we just gonna say, "Aw," and just leave them alone, diba? Parang, are we just gonna say, kaya mo na yan, diba? Or, magsistay tayo at sasamahan sila, no? At gagawin ba natin yon ng walang hinihinging kapalit, no? At diba? Isipin natin ngayon kung yung mga pinipili nating leader ay kayang makita yung pananaw ng kanyang membro at kung naiintindihan kung saan sila nanggagaling. Yung leader niyo ba ay may tunay na pagmamahal? No? Sila ba ay may pagmamahal sa kanilang kapwa at tinutugunan yung pangangailangan ng iba? Tinitingnan yung perspective nila nang walang hinihinging kapalit? Let's ask ourselves that. Let's ask if our leaders have the care package. Kung kayo, syempre, nakakatanggap kayo ng ayuda, di ba? For example, relief pack, lalo na nung kasagsagan ng pandemic, sa ating mga kasama na naka-experience ng ECQ, di ba? Mga naghanap tayo ng ayuda, di ba? Or pagka nasalanta tayo ng bagyo, naghanap tayo ng ayuda from our government or from other people. Di ba? We expect na overall, kompleto na yung laman nun, whether it's toiletries, no, o pang hygiene, yung bigas, canned food, other supplies na needed, no. Tapos nadidisappoint tayo kung may kulang, di ba? So, sa package ng isang pinuno, no, meron din tayong hinahanap na overall as we learn. Pero, sa care package nila, no, as opposed to yung mga relief packages na natatanggap natin before, this time, we can choose. Diba? Kung isipin natin, yung pagkakaroon ng care, diba? Yun yung pagkakaroon ng paki. Yun yung pagkakaroon ng pag-alala at alaga sa isang tao kung tunay natin silang minamahal. Because when you care, diba, you love. Diba? So sana ganun din yung pinipili nating mga leader. No? Sila yung may tunay na pagmamahal sa kanilang kapwa at bayan. When our leader has care and when our leader is consistent, i-lead niya tayo sa tunay na pag-glow up. So friends, no, let's consider, no, ganun ba yung pinuno natin? Yung pinunong pinaskitier ba siya that comes in a quality care package? Tandaan natin, para mag-glow up tayo, yung decisions natin ay dapat nagre-reflect ng high standards. So take note, hindi masamang magkaroon ng high standards. Sabi nga ni Ate Kets kanina, no, dapat choosy. No? So dapat choosy tayo. No? Lalo na pagpipili tayo ng leaders dahil, as I mentioned earlier, it's gonna be for the next 6 years. Diba? Malaking bahagi yan ng buhay natin na hindi natin mababalikan pa. So if you want a glow up, kailangan maaga pa lang we make the efforts needed. And what kind of effort do we do? No, it's research. No, it's looking at whether our aspiring leaders are up to our high standards. But as glow up efforts usually go, meron at merong mga makakasagabal sa atin. Sa diet, for example, balik tayo sa sarili natin. Mga mamaya, wonder food or pills yung pipiliin natin instead of going the way na pagiging discipline sa pagkain natin. Diba? When it comes to research, ganun din, diba? Walang shortcut. No? Sabi ni, tanong ni Sian, in situations like walang pinuno na meron yan lahat, in case no one has all four, ano po advice nyo sa voters? Again, balik tayo, Sian, no, to our values. What do you value? Is there a leader, no, who reflects your values? Which leader reflects your value the most? Wag tayo mag-isip na parang negative lang na parang okay, wala, so I'll pick the least. No? We're always going to pick the most attuned to our values, the most fitting, the most providing sa ating care package. That's right. I hope that answered your question, Shean. But again, going back, choosing a good leader, and when reading about leaders, there's still the danger of not knowing whether the information we read is real, is taken in context. Maaring na misleading, maaaring fake. Sabi nga ni Ate Kits kanina, diba? Kailangan umiwas tayo sa fake. And speaking of fake, let's just have a review of the next topic that we have. Review lang siya ng dapat choosy. It's fake on fake news, or as it's also called, disinformation. So bakit nga ba laganap yung fake news na yan? Yeah, oopsies. The slides are not my friend. Yan. Okay. So it's not, when we say disinformation, ayon kay Sir Jason Cabañas, disinformation is not just information distortion, but it's the creation of narratives that resonate with the people. So when we say disinformation, as we learned earlier, it's not just clear-cut lies. Instead, what we have is an entire structure. It's an alliance of people from different fields, from the digital labor force, from advertising and PR. These people all come together to create and spread narratives that resonate with the public in favor of their client, the politician. So, let's look at this. This information campaigns, how do they work again? First, we have the client who stands to benefit from the campaign. And next, we have the chief architects. These are the executives from advertising or PR who've moved out of their industry. Instead of selling products, they're using their expertise in the field of politics to sell to us yung image na generate nila for their candidate. Supporting, carrying out the plans of the chief architects are influencers. These influencers, their role is to expose as many people as possible to their persuasive content. So you might have seen that already, sa mga nakikita nyo on Facebook, 'di ba? Mga influencers na una skincare lang yung pinag-uusapan, ganito ganyan, 'di ba? Tapos biglang mamaya meron ng tungkol sa pagboto, 'di ba? And then there are fake account operators. So these are fake politician accounts, or love quote accounts, diba? So yung content nila before ay mga memes or what, tapos mamaya biglang political na yung laman, no? Tapos fake yung news na nakikita ninyo, 'di ba? Or minsan gagawa ng account nakapangalan sa politiko pero hindi naman talaga yun yung official na account. Kaya may check mark na yun, 'di ba? Check the label, 'di ba? So by the way, ang pinakasikat na disinformation, hindi na sila in the form of news articles na pinipindot natin yung link in text. No? They're videos now. No? Kung ano yung pinaka-entertaining sa atin. So some of them have engaging voiceovers and narratives. Ito, yung mga nasa YouTube. No? Some of them come in the form of TikToks. No? Madaling panoorin para sa atin. And then lastly, no, we have grassroots intermediaries. These are the fans and supporters that the entire structure of architects, influencers, and fake account operators are trying to energize. So ito, maaaring mga kamag-anak natin, kaibigan natin, kapitbahay natin, whoever, no, na nakikita natin nagsishare ng fake news. They're not in on it, no, but they are part of it. No? Wala silang exactly gain doon, pero dahil cooked sila dun sa mga tao na yun, napapakalat rin nila yung misinformation na ito, yung disinformation na ito. At it all goes through a process. It's first doing research. These people, they're not doing it basta-basta. They do surveys and focus group discussions to know what other people value. They craft it with academics, and then they form theories, saying that people want a reluctant candidate, people want a fellow victim of the pandemic, people want to hear from another person just like them. And from that, they work on image building, on image orientation. So they highlight the strengths or equalize the weaknesses. Kung ano yung theories nila, ina-apply nila yon, diba? So they get ordinary people, i-shoot nila yung sinasabi, kung hindi ganun kasikat yung politiko nila, kung hindi ganun yung star quality niya, they get celebrity endorsers, ganun. They hire other more famous people, ganun. Or if they look too rich to be relatable, sabihin nila na parang, hindi ko naman kailangan yan. Diba? Yung pera ng mga taong yan, sabihin nila. And lastly, the actual disinformation itself, again, it's not just a distortion of knowledge, but the creation of narratives that resonate with the people. Itong narratives na to, they weaponize them in order to make us more susceptible. Katulad lang ng mga produkto, when we watch products, nakikita natin yung ads natin either nakakaaliw or nakaka-appeal sa takot natin, or nakaka-appeal na, I want that kasi magiging cool ako pag nakuha ko yan. Diba? Again, balik natin yung feels, gains, status, and ways. Mag-appeal sila sa feels, gains, or status motivations natin through their disinformation. So are we about to vote a leader because it's what our country really needs? Or are they successfully presented? They just successfully present themselves as people we need? Ugaliin natin na magkapa. Let's be critical. Let's ask ourselves, are what we're reading current? Check natin yung release date, kung ano yung current issues, kung relevant sila. Is it authorized? Are the people who wrote yung articles or people who created the content, are they reliable in the field of journalism? Do they have good credentials? Are they do they have the reputation to show facts, or puro fake news na yung pagkakilala sa kanila? Is it purposeful? Ano yung purpose ng ating mga nakikitang articles? You can see that kaagad sa laman ng content, and is it lastly accurate? Is it consistent with what other outlets are saying? Ano yung sources na pinanggalingan niya? Example niyan, the Post states here na Magdalo Party List representative and 2019 senatorial candidate Gary Alejano described OFWs as nabayaran na yung kaluluwa. The claim was proven false by fact-checking sites. So tanungin natin, di ba? Is it applicable to the current situation or is it just a diversion tactic? Ito pa, a video was recorded last year, no? With President Duterte saying 2 doses is enough, anything more is dangerous. No? Pero may nag-share until 2022. No? Remember that this video was recorded before the booster shots were approved. So let's be careful with outdated posts because they might have been proven wrong already or they may lack context. No? They may have changed already. No? Is it authorized? No? For example, this one comes from a certain Jay Sonza, no? Na nagsasabi na Lenny Robred's daughter skipped quarantine protocols. No? Jay Sonza already has a history of sharing fake news. No? If you search his name online, makikita niyo na marami siyang kaso for libel, marami siyang kaso for false claims, no? Mga bagay na pinapakalat niya. No? And then, is it purposeful? No? Makikita natin dito, no, you don't really have to ask the author. Hindi mo kailangan mag-interview, tawagan sila or message sila. Parang bakit mo ba yan sinulat? No? In fact, you can see it in the way they word things. So this headline, for example, Recto Pacquiao Pangilinan enjoy spending public funds. When was this released? 2022, kung kailan nagsabi na yung mga tao kung ano yung tatakbuhan nila. Diba? So these people, they're rivals of a certain candidate. Diba? They come from different parties. They might be obvious, tapos yung pag-present sa kanila dito sa article na to is negative, no? Spending public funds, enjoy nila. Ganun. So nakikita natin kaagad na merong pinapaguran to. Kung merong natatalo, merong may pinapaguran. Diba? And then lastly, is it accurate? No, ito yung sa mga pinakamalaga. Is the information consistent with what's in other articles? Meron bang proper citation? So for example, ito, ang quote, nakalagay sa quote card, wala akong sinabi na ihinto ang drug war. Ang sabi ko, not to continue. Which got a lot of thousands of interactions. No? Pero bago tayo mamusga ng taong nakalagay, no, at yung sinabi niya supposedly, alamin man natin, sinabi niya ba talaga yun? When we search, no, online, when we check other publications, makikita natin na hindi naman pala totoo yung nakalagay sa quote card na to. She was misquoted, but rather, ang sinabi niya ay, wala akong sinabing ito yung kampanya, ang sabi ko, i-tweak. Ang layo ng i-tweak sa not to continue. Diba? So we have to be careful with what we see. In short, ugaliin natin mag-fact check. Kapain mo yung katotohanan. So, let's look again, diba? When we fall for fake campaigns, we end up voting for a fake leader. Kanina pag-usapan na natin to. Since we can expect a fake blow up. So, bukod sa ating empathy, bukod sa ating high standards, a good choice is rooted on facts. Again, a good choice is rooted on facts. So, recap tayo. We have a major decision to make here. It will affect everything. Again, every aspect of our lives, whether people can open businesses, whether people can get jobs again, whether we can eat the food we're currently eating, everything will be shaped by our choice come this May. Diba? And as we've established, this choice, again, has to, first, one, sabihin nyo nga sa akin, type in the chat. A good decision is made with what? First, made with empathy. Thank you, Daniela. Again, let's think like a pinasketeer. It's all for one and one for all. Let's decide as a representative and not just an individual. Next, let's reflect high standards. Huwag tayong mag-settle. You know what we deserve, and that is the whole care package. And of course, kakasabi lang natin kanina, it's rooted on facts. Ngayon pa lang, kapain na natin yung katotohanan sa likod ng bawat kandidato. In this way, when we have these three, when we think like a pinasketeer, when we look for the full care package, kung kinakapa natin ang totoo, we will come up with a good decision and with a good leader. At huwag niyong mamalit yung isang boto niyo. Your one choice, together with all other choices, are part of the choices of a generation that has strength in numbers. So ito lang ilan sa mga headlines na lumabas last year. As of October 18, 2021, a couple of weeks before the end of the extended registration period, more than 32.7 million, according to the COMELEC, belong to the youth sector. So that's 52% of the voting population. That's the youth vote. Kaya i-exercise natin yung right natin na bumoto. Our glow up completely depends on what you do now. Sa atin ito manggagaling. Kaya ang malaking tanong dyan, no, para sa atin, no, at para sa ating mga pipiliing leader, are you empathetic enough? Are you meeting high standards? And are you grounded on facts? Dahil walang makapag-hashtag glow up, no, sa Pilipinas, kundi tayong mga Pilipino, tayong mga botante. We have the power to create change right now. So choose our leaders wisely para sabay-sabay tayong mag-glow up. Yan, maraming salamat, no, for listening, for hanging on, no, to our presentation. No, and now, no, I'd like to ask you, no, everyone here, no, it's your turn. You have a chance. Meron sabi sa inyo, di ba? You have a chance to win pa rin, di ba? You have a chance to win 200 pesos via GCash just by filling in this statement. Makakatulong ako sa pag-glow up ng bayan sa pamamagitan ng blank. Makakatulong ako sa pag-glow up ng bayan sa pamamagitan ng blank. We will be choosing 2 winners. Napakadali lang. Let us know, no? Paano kayo makakatulong sa pag-glow up ng bayan? No? Ano ang gagawin ninyo? And speaking, no, of pagiging winner, no, and mag-glow up, no, para mas matulungan tayong mag-glow up sa bayan. I'm sure all of you want to grow palalo as learners. At sasamahan kayo dyan ng Pinas Forward Academy sa tuloy-tuloy na karunungan bilang nation builders online at your own convenient time with pfacademy.ph. Visit pfacademy.ph to enjoy online courses, Pinas Forward shows, and relevant and informative articles. All you have to do is first sign up for a free account, second, browse through our free courses and other content, and third, enroll in courses and learn at your own pace. No, lahat ng ito ay libre. No, sa dulo ng bawat online course, meron pang evaluation link which you can just fill up. No? Simply fill out that evaluation form before you complete your course and you will receive your e-certificate within 5 days. So, meron ka ng libreng natutunan, meron ka pang libreng certificate. So kaya kung tulad nyo kami nasabik sa makabuluhan na impormasyon, lalo na ng Pinas Forward Academy, visit pfacademy.ph today and be updated with new learning opportunities at a touch of your fingertips. Right. And that, of course, everyone, no, is pfacademy.ph. You can follow Pinas Forward, no, through our social media accounts, no, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Pinas Forward PH. And you can also join our Facebook community, Pinas Forwarders. No? And again, no, bilang paghahanda sa paparating na halalan, Pinas Forward came up with a non-partisan voter education platform. If you guys are looking for information, no, that is already rooted on facts, no, certified, fact-checked, legit, no, you can access them through eboto.ph. No? So, again, that's eboto.ph. Visit eboto.ph to view and compare candidate profiles, access voter education resources, play games, prepare your sample ballot, volunteer to be part of the eboto team, and a lot more. No? Makakahanap nyo rin kami on social media. Nako, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. It's at eboto.ph. And a reminder again, no, that we do have, again, still another opportunity for you to win. No? Our photo contest is still up. Nakarinig na kayo from 3 speakers this afternoon. Hopefully, nakapagpa-picture na kayo. No? Or nag-picture na kayo by yourselves. No? Post a photo on Facebook with your setup while attending GenLit. Make sure, of course, to include your webinar screen. And in your caption, share what you've learned from the GenLit. Ang dami nating natutunan ngayon. So I'm sure marami kayong mailalagay dyan. Include also our hashtag #PinasForwardGenLit in your caption and like and tag the page, no, PinasForwardPH on your post and answer the GenLit evaluation form for your entry to be considered. Make sure it's public and you have until 11:59 p.m. So, feel free to choose which picture you want to put, choose what you want to share na learnings ninyo. No? So there's a max of 3 best entries that will be chosen. Winners will receive 100 pesos via GCash and be contacted by the Pinas Forward team. Right. And so, that's it, no, for us here at Pinas Forward. Now we're going to show our evaluation forms, no, which you can see ren link in the Zoom chat, no, the evaluation forms, or you can also scan the QR code in the slide. No? Just fill up that form and you can receive your e-certificate within 5 days. So just that, no, at of course, mahalaga to para sa ating photo contest entry. No? So, yan. It's been a long and productive afternoon with you guys. I hope that this was all meaningful for everyone. To our friends on YouTube, on Facebook Live, no, especially no, sa ating mga kasama from 95.9 Radyo Totoo, Lakas ng Katotohanan, no. Maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin sa buong maghapon na ito. No. At we hope to see you through our websites pfacademy.ph and eboto.ph, and of course our other activities including EZ on April 29th, 4 p.m. Just join, just go to Instagram, no, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Pinas Forward PH and Pinas Forwarders. And Pinas Forwarders again. No? So, maraming salamat everyone. Remember to fill out the evaluation form. This has been Bruno, your moderator, also your speaker for this afternoon, saying maraming salamat, magandang hapon, and let's move. #Pinas Forward.